What's going on, fam? How you doing? Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Mr. Trav Smooth, Willie, Tim F, me, Pink, Tim Whites, Clive Jones. I'm with the ad. My DJ Freshman, for myself.
What's going on?
Coach Stove. What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
What up, gentlemen?
Peace, brother. What's going on?
What's up, homie?
What's happening, man?
Good to see you guys. Like I ain't saw y'all in a while, man. Good to be here on this lovely Tuesday. Hope you guys' holidays was amazing. Yeah.
Yes,
course.
indeed.
Maybe do it.
Decided to bring y'all what y'all wanted.
Yeah.
Shit, we pay at this age. You forget we got
Oh,
kids and families. We the ones paying. But I did get gumbo for New Year's. Big ass pot of gumbo. That was super fire.
Oh man, that sounds fire, man.
Yeah.
Like to put the rest of
Eat that shit like 2 days. You say you don't like gumbo?
I don't like holidays. I'm
Why you like holidays?
Rich ass. Why
I
you
be
a
trying to
Grinch?
get money. Everybody wants to stop getting money on holidays. The bank closed. Everything closed. I can't do nothing.
You supposed to spend time with your kids and your family.
Spend time with them every day.
You a Grinchy ass nigga, man. Like money ain't the anyway. You right. You right, Mike. But
Everybody wants to
money
stop.
over everything, Joe. No, don't sleep. Just hustle. Grind till you shine. Just just do that
Sleep
shit.
every day. I spend time with my kids.
Right.
Everybody get days off. Why I get days off. Why we gotta stop on the holiday? Everything stop. I don't like that.
Don't you work for yourself?
Yeah.
So why you had to stop?
I can't work with nobody. Like for example, like if you do business if you do business in China, they got a Chinese New Year about to come up. It's almost a month long. You're gonna have a month you can't do nothing because everybody sit, all the factories closed. They don't do nothing with it for a month. So I just gotta wait.
What about you, Trev? Willie?
Christmas is about the kids, big dog. So
Bah humbug.
Well, as long as y'all kids enjoyed it, I guess, man. It's about the kids. Ain't about us no more. I guess we don't get no day. Valentine's Day right around the corner. I guess we don't get that either, huh? Ma, do you celebrate Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I participate.
Oh, so that's the holiday you participate in, huh?
I participate in all of them. My kid, I dropped a bag on the present, so I participate. I do all of them.
Sounds good.
You got a man bun, Mark?
wow.
No, I got a ponytail. I call it that.
I don't think you want to go to work today. You was gonna man bun it out. Said fuck the job. Moisturize.
It's good to see you guys, man. Again, happy Tuesday. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. What's going on? We got Summer Sunshine 4119. Eugene Steele is in the house as well. He said this is going to be a good show. I hope you guys show footage from the pastors, Brian Sermon. I sure will. We also got Devil Games X1. Edward Gilbert's in the house. Shout out to my Green Gang that's in the chat. See, mine is in the chat as well. Ray Stoke, 8670. Christopher Matthews. As you guys come in again, hit that like button. You catch it on the replay, hit that like button. And also make sure you follow and subscribe as well. Share the stream, man. Share the stream to somebody one time. We got an excellent show here for you guys. Lust is a demon, and we're watching it win. Thought about Humble Dad when I saw it. It's not in a negative way, man, but it just seemed like it might be like a biblical type topic. So
Come on.
I just me that's
Lord
all.
have mercy.
Wow, I see.
Yeah, bring back shame, man.
Oh, I feel you for sure.
Yeah. So we ain't talking about the women today, man. So I know we like to kind of swing towards the women, man. Let's just kind of stick to the topic at hand. So whatever is being discussed, make sure we kind of keep it there. You know, we'll get to the women on the back end, man. But I just want to see if we can actually get somewhere with this conversation since we got a panel full of men. Sounds good?
Yes, indeed.
I know some of y'all itching. Y'all might relapse mid-show or something. Y'all can't help yourself.
I already relapsed.
It's too late, man. It's all good, man. It put a poll at the top of the chat. I'm gonna actually do an official poll in a second, but go ahead and answer that poll, chat. Is lust demon or a lack of discipline? So, demon, discipline, and both. Put that in the chat. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll go ahead and monitor that. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this first clip up. We're gonna run this, set the tone, and we're gonna build up to it, man. We're gonna talk about Jamal. We're gonna talk about Shannon Sharp. We're gonna talk about the lust being a demon. So it should be an excellent show. I'm looking forward to it. Looking for Willie's perspective in particular, man. I know he always says something that we all never think about, but something for us to ponder on. So shout out to you, Willie.
You got Donnie McClurkin added to your list?
Wow.
You know what? I did see that somebody was missing, and I will kind of add that to it. Like, are you a fan of his music? No?
No, I'm not really a gospel.
Oh, okay.
You heard me? All right.
So what you like, the Travis Scott or something? You like that type of music?
No, I don't listen to that. You know, I listen to like not that shit.
Okay.
Not that.
I heard some stories about Travis Scott. They say, man, they be summoning demons at his concerts or something, man. Something like that.
Yeah, no, I ain't listen to no demon worship music.
Yeah. What they say, man. I mean, you watching some of those, you just be laying there taking a nap, and then one of them shows pop on. What the fuck is this? What's going on? They start talking
like
about
a scary movie?
No, like the music industry. They just saying how like some of the music in the concerts and how it's orchestrated, it's on the dark side.
Yeah, you seen Lil Nas X was selling blood in his shoes and shit?
Yeah, man.
And twerking on Satan. Like they ass tweaking. Like they doing the most.
You might have to call Bo and get the sage, man. What you talking about?
They super tweaking. They say what he do. Shit, he got arrested. No, he getting sued, right, for an inappropriate sexual relationship with a man who he was supposed to be doing Pray the Gay away with. I guess he fell down and didn't get up.
Who is that? Lil Nas X or Donnie McClurkin?
Donnie McClurkin.
No.
I say something like that, man.
He never should have made that call. He never should have.
All right, let me go ahead and run this first clip, man. Let's go ahead and get into it, gentlemen. Again, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Here we go.
Lust is a demon. The Bible states this clear as day in Ephesians 6:12. God is love, and lust is a perversion of love. So if God is love, and lust is a perversion of love, is a perversion of who God is. So when we operate in lust, what do you think we're inviting? Things that are not of God. Entities, spirits, demons, however you want to word it. Let me tell y'all something. We don't believe that it's a spiritual thing, or we don't know that it's a spiritual thing, so we're not dealing with it in a spiritual matter. This is what I want you to do. You don't believe it's a spiritual thing? Start praying, start reading the word of God, start spending time in nature, and start asking God for help. I guarantee you, you're going to start to see a difference. Because usually what we do is we try to fight it on our own. We try to think our way out of it. We try to, oh man, we just spiral. Start praying, start fasting, start reading your word, spend time in nature, spend intimate time with God, and ask Jesus to help you. I guarantee you, you're going to start to see a change. And you're going to know it's a spiritual thing because those lusts, those urges, is going to start to crank up even more because they know you found the solution. Anybody that has tried to fight lust, whether you battled with it before or you never tried to get away from it, start going to Christ. And watch, you're going to see clear as day those spirits are going to be agitated and they not going to like it. Too many times we looking at stuff we ain't supposed to be looking at. What you think gonna happen whenever you looking at women all day on your timeline feed? I'll give y'all an example. Many of us have been in relationships. You go the whole day without seeing your girlfriend, and what happens the second you're around your girlfriend? After y'all hug, whatever the case may be, eventually you're gonna want to do what? And this is one woman that you've been around. So what you think is gonna happen when you're looking at attractive women all day on your timeline? You on your phone and you seeing nothing but promiscuity on your timeline. What you think gonna happen? You have to unplug. You have to start praying. DM the word ready to join my community on Twitter. I'm telling y'all right now, bro, it's a spiritual thing. You don't believe it? Start praying. Start fasting. Start reading the word. Start spending time out in nature. Unplug from all this worldliness. You're going to see real quick those spirits around you, in you, they're going to start to get agitated, and they're going to start to try to work harder. Why you think it starts to get hard whenever you try to fix something? It's a spiritual thing. These spirits know it. We just got to wake up and just keep going towards the solution, which is Christ. But we feel that overwhelming, that heaviness, that difficultness, that learning curve, right? This hump. Whenever you start something new, it's like all this pressure is coming against you. It's spirits, and you deal with it in a spiritual way, and you stand on the word of God.
Willie, is he right?
Yeah. What's up, big dog?
What up, man?
Trying to find how to say this without sounding like a fucking heathen, but I don't think that being attracted or liking women with their titties and ass out is us lusting after them. It's our fucking biology. If I'm at church and I see a woman with her titties, or you know what I'm saying, with a titties covered up, but I can still see her body, I might look at it. It's natural. It's not me saying, damn, I want to bend over the pew and smack her in the back of the head with a Bible while I'm beating. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just our natural inclination to like women like that. For these guys that this is applicable to, those are just men who don't have access to these types of women. So like when they see them, they're on a pedestal. They're super excited. Oh my God, I've never seen a girl with an ass that fat. So they get excited. And the first thing their mind goes to is, I want to have sex with her. Like, all this, praying and fasting, that's cool. No issue there. But the guys, if you got an issue enough where lusting is an issue in your life, then you got a bigger problem, and you probably need therapy on top of that prayer and fasting.
All right, what about you, Clap? I think home guy was right.
I kind of agree with what Willie said, man. Like we had this conversation. I don't know if it was last week or whatever, but we had a similar conversation where I was basically saying, like, we didn't make our biology. You know what I mean? This is kind of how we're wired to be attracted to women. So I don't think it's necessarily a demon, although I do believe lust can be a demon. I don't think every time a man is lusting after a woman is because there's some demon jumping into his spirit. I just think our body is designed to be turned on when we see women. That's just the way God designed us.
If you look at it, lust attraction is normal. That's what you see when you look at a woman. Lust is what you do with that attraction. That's when you sit there and dwell on the girl. That's when you sit there and fantasize about what you could do to her. You sit here, you know what I'm saying? You replay, oh, I can picture her in a sundress. I can picture her in a bikini. That's what lusting is. And even then, with that being the action of attraction, it's almost natural for men or women people to do that. So I don't think that that's, you know what I'm saying, it's demonic for me to be attracted to women with fat asses. I don't nothing about it. I don't think it's demonic for me to sometimes see my woman and be like, damn, her ass fat. I can't wait to get in it. That's natural human nature. It's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing, now if you're talking about lusting after niggas, that's a different thing. Like, I don't think a man should do that. But as far as a man and a woman go, like, what do you want us to do? You like, again, I think these conversations only come from people who don't have access to these women. So they're like a prize or a pedestal to them.
HD, what do you think about what Cloud and Willie had to say?
Well, my internet's going in and out, so I may have to come back. But as it's working, I would say, based on their perspective, I can see why they would say that. But if you're talking about from the perspective of the Bible, in which he was referring to, we wrestle against like the darkness. So from that perspective, lust would be considered a spirit, an evil spirit, because but at
HD. I don't want you to say something, man. I have to start back over again,
the
brother. Put
same
your energy.
time, there is
HD.
not.
HD, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go back out and come back in. I don't want you to get into your
Bet.
monologue and then it cut out. All right.
All right.
Go ahead, Hank.
It sound like my man trying to ruin the ED.
Hey, did he cut out? You cut out, Hank.
Oh shit, my bad.
No.
So it sounds like he's trying to get rid of all the ED medicine that's being sold. He's saying the only thing you need to do is start praying more and fasting, and you know your erection's gonna come back. So y'all fellas who are having them issues out here in the world, just start praying and fasting. And y'all better get that erectile going again. They won't be a problem no more. I'm sure that's what he's saying. But on a serious note, look, man, is lust a is that your statement? JR, was lust is
I have a question. It was a question for the chat that I put in there. As far as demon discipline or both, which one is it? But I was just giving a reaction to the clip.
And also, video.
Willie said, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with them. The two fellas, Willie and Clout, what was saying. I mean, you know, look, younger days, man, when I was watching those adult films, you know what I'm saying? I can tell. I felt like I was just doing it way too much, to the point where I'm like, man, I'm asking myself, man, am I addicted to this bull crap? You know, watching that much. And then when I see the women, you get women and they not doing the same thing that they doing on the, you know, on the movies or the clips or the video, it's a little disappointing. So yeah, I can't see the damage that it can cause, you know, and even today, I mean, the shit that they showing on IG, it's crazy. It's like soft corn. But you go to X, man, you could be looking at some good wholesome pictures, and next thing you know, you've seen ass everywhere. A whole corn movie, damn near. Then you'll flip up one time, you'll go back to seeing some sports, or you'll go back to seeing some CNN news. It's crazy, but that's what it is. Yeah, it can be an issue, especially for younger men who don't have maybe little to no self-control. You know, they going out there expecting everything to be popping off every woman to do, and that's not the case. But I landed there.
Go ahead, Mike.
Comment on the video.
Yeah, video with it. Anybody have to say unless you agree with all of it, fellas?
No, yeah, I agree with I agree with what a couple guys had to say. I think the Bible has a lot of wisdom in it, a ton of wisdom. I never read it, but I've heard certain parts of it, and I was like, yo, that's thorough. Like I think it got a ton of wisdom in it. It's probably the best book ever written. I don't know, but no, I don't subscribe to none of that. I think that I look at it from a science and a biology perspective. I'm a man. I want to fuck something. It is what it is. I see a woman. I'm supposed to be designed to want to have sex with her. It's really that simple. I don't know, you know, what other perspective to come from. That's literally how I see it. I'm a man, and other men are men. You see a woman, she's attractive. You're supposed to want to go hunting. It just is what it is.
So is it possible for you to silence that urge?
Yeah, I mean, I silenced it because I had enough. I got it, you know, maybe some other men, you know, they don't get that much, but I think you can silence it either with age. You know, your libido slows down naturally. Maybe your testosterone gets lower. But yeah, I think it can slow down, and I think it might slow down. It might come back up. It might slow down. It might come back up. You know, it could fluctuate.
So then if it comes back up, then what keeps you in check then? Because right now you said if you get older, it comes down.
you gotta fuck something, or you know, use your hands. Like, get a wife, whatever, you know, whatever, you know, you might, if you married, you got a wife. If you're not, you find a woman. If you can't get a woman, use your hand. That's how, you know, that's how the world works.
Go ahead, HD. I know you were saying you was agreeing with most of the fellas. Go ahead. Let me come back to you. Can you hear me, HD? Okay, you're on mute.
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I got a new computer, so things.
All right. Try to turn the video off real quick, just so you can
janky.
Speak it in.
Tell him to use his phone for the night until he fix it.
I bet.
All right, go ahead, Dara.
I share the same sentiment with a lot of guys. I think it's a biological thing, and I think we put somebody else off mute. I think a growing number of people in society is trying to take it away from biology and put it on a religious thing. And I think the motive or the agenda behind it is to try to regulate men, because we haven't yet figured out how to control. I think the most powerful thing on this planet is a man who is at the height of his genetic makeup and largely desired by a lot of women, and continuing to procreate at record numbers, unparalleled to other men who can't do it. So I think the men who can't procreate on that level or be desired on that level had to figure out a way to regulate these type of men. So they made it, they put it in scripture, they put it in religious, they put it in negative connotations to it as a spiritual attack on yourself, just to try to control men, because that's one of the most powerful tools that we have, is being able to, first of all, being able to create enough sperm to be able to appropriate the entire world, but then go out and just do it unhinged is something that society, civilization has not figured out how to control at a way where we can do it freely and not create a destructive society. So we had to try to put this negative connotation to it to try to get men to feel like they're sexually undisciplined, or that it's evil to have this feeling arise in your body biologically, but whenever it's actually how you're designed. So I'm in agreement with what Mon said, but it doesn't mean that I'm in agreement that men should just go ahead and act on those urges. Obviously, you want to be responsible. And if you could be, and I think there's men out here that know how to do it responsibly and they're acting on it. It's just everybody can't do it. So it's like an envy. So if I'm envious of the man who's able to do it at a high level, how can I get in front of that to where they can't? Okay, let's make it bad practice. Let's make it taboo in society. Let's frown upon it. Let's talk about it. Let's create groups that they can't get inside if they're moving like that. So it's an agenda, and I'll land.
Darwin, what is the first boundary a man should set this week to beat lust?
Come again?
What's the first boundary a man should set this week to beat lust?
To beat lust?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a matter of boundaries. I think it's a matter of your desired outcome. If you desire to indulge on your lustful, if you desire to act on your lustful desire, I think a man who wants to do it should do it, instead of beating himself up and punishing himself by restraining himself. If you want to go out there and get your thing off, that's what you should do. But you should weigh the risks. You should be aware of the results or the consequences that come with it. And as long as you're okay with the consequences and the risks that you put yourself into, then it's okay to go out there and do it. Do it responsibly.
All right, I'm gonna go to Trev, DJ and White after this.
There's a spirit of perversion and lust that has infected and affected the minds of a lot of men today. And a lot of you don't want to be honest about your addiction to adult films on the low, OnlyFans on the low, tricking off at the strip club every week on the low. And a lot of you're so infected to where you can't even see a woman past the conversation, past her body. You're so fixated having sex with her after the first, second date, you think she owes you access to her body. Whenever men go around asking women, what do you bring to the table besides your looks and your body? That subconsciously is your reasoning. That's your fault that you can't see her past her body and you can't see her past the value that she offers outside of her looks. That's you. Whether you realize that or not, fellas, that is a perverted mind, perverted spirit within you that is keeping you from recognizing the value that she can offer in your life as a companion, as your safe haven. Understand me when I say this, fellas. Until you get rid of that lustful spirit, you will not have a skill set of being able to bond with a woman.
What you think, Trev?
I mean, he shared the same sentiment. Did you have a particular question you wanted me to answer on it, or just
Nah, well, I think he was kind of talking about how men tend to focus on a woman's body.
He also said that you wouldn't be able to bond if you exploring all of those options before marriage. You wouldn't be able to bond with a woman.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think it's different for men and women. Now, to an extent, of course, if you were out of control and you straight abusing it, then yeah, you probably might have some issues. But the average man does that anyway, right? And they don't end up not being able to be faithful. You still can be. You just have to make up your mind that that's not what you want to do anymore. Mont just explained the same shit. Like that's what he did, right? A lot of us did, where we had enough, and then you're like, all right, cool. Now I'm ready to settle down because you've seen it all. You can get to a certain point where you just don't need to do that anymore. If you can be satisfied by one woman. I don't think everyone can, but the majority of us absolutely will be able to come back from that if we were out there. I would say a good portion of us. I think every single one of us, or I can't speak for everybody, but I'd say at least 90% of us here probably had some type of a phase where we were really out there doing what it do. And for the most part, most of us are now calmed down with one lady and are just fine raising families and doing what we're supposed to do. I think the dudes that run into those type of issues lack discipline or access. That's pretty much what it boils down to. If you glorifying it because it's not something that you're exposed to, you're going to constantly think about it. You'll be chasing that carrot. But I think once you've experienced enough of it and you realize that it's something that you can do, you conquered, you get on your purpose.
Go ahead, HD.
I would say that it is a spiritual situation. For those of us that believe in the Bible, it does say that if you look on a woman with the intention of a sexual desire, then you've already committed sin. And sin is a part of the devil's plan, if you will, to get you off your mission, which is to if you're a follower of Christ anyway, get you off your path of doing such a thing. And so I would say that according to what the video said, he would be accurate based upon what the text says. Can we overcome those things? Yes. Is it a lack of discipline? Yes. And so both can be true, I would say. That it could be a spiritual thing, but it can also be where you need to have self-control as well.
So it's possible for a man to not look at a woman sexually, like other women outside of his wife sexually. It's possible.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. What do you mean by that?
Absolutely not.
What do you mean by that?
Who, me? Or
No, humble dad. What do you mean by like not look at a woman? No, both. I guess you, JR. So is it possible for a man to not look at any woman outside of his woman sexually?
Yes. Well, that's a question that I asked because a lot of the men said that it's in our nature to desire women. Now, whether we proceed with it or not, then that's when the discipline comes in. But for the most part, I was hearing a lot of men say it's in our nature, but we can't control it. But Humble Dad is saying that if you are a follower of Christ, that it is a sin to look at other women. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
In a lustful way.
Yeah, in a lustful way. So, I mean, lustful is, would you say sexual, right? HD?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like you're imagining yourself penetrating her or looking at her and yourself naked in some type of imagination, having full-blown intercourse. But we can look at a woman and acknowledge that the woman has sex appeal. She's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? She has femininity. She has characteristics that makes her attractive to the market without necessarily imagining blowing her back out.
How about this, Darwin? What if you don't you're not imagining blowing a woman's back out, right? But a woman walks by you who happens to be beautiful and she has a body that you're extremely attracted to, and you just go in your head like, God damn, and you might even turn away from her like Jesus, right? In your head, you don't say it, but you like, you might just, is that the lust? Is that lust?
Yeah. So that's a natural thing. That's a biological thing. It's just natural for us to have that kind of interaction. It was supposed to because opposites attract. Well, when we turn our heads, we know our strengths. We know that if we continue to look upon her, and we might dive into imagination. So what guys tend to do is either they shut their eyes or they turn away.
And I think that's noble, but I still would consider that to be like what JR is saying.
Lust, yeah. So that's where grace comes in. That's what a lot of people don't understand how grace works. Sometimes we sin all the time. According to the word, we sin all the time. We're living our flesh is sin, and we're covered by grace because there's things that we do unintentionally that we're covered over. But we still have to acknowledge that it's wrong and try to practice against it, so to speak. That's according to the word.
So, Humble Dad, you're saying that it's possible for a man to not even have those reactions. And even
you're talking about it from a sexual perspective? Yes.
Okay.
I don't think it's possible not to have those. I think it's possible not to act on them.
Yeah, the only way I think it's
noticing
possible to have
there's nothing wrong with noticing that you have a desire for something. You see a woman that you're attracted to, you acknowledge that. The difference is when you let that, like what the thoughts you have aren't an issue. It's the thoughts you host and you maintain and you pour energy into. So seeing a woman walk past you, notice she got a fat ass, you have 20/20 vision. Anybody that has eyes will see that her ass is moving left and right inside her dress. Now, the average guy is probably going to think of, he's going to lust after her. But then, again, even that, it stems from his biology as a man. So it's really, it's frustrating. I don't want to say it's frustrating, but it's something that I find hypocritical when, people say that, this is, the Bible says to do this, and then the Bible says to do that. But, the Bible is very clear. You're not lusting after someone else's wife. It doesn't tell you not to be attracted to women. It doesn't tell you not to have, not to desire women sexually. We're acting like it is now. It goes to what Darwin says. It's these guys who don't have access who are trying to shame those of us that do, because that's the only way they can get an equal playing field. And when you notice the men that say this, they all seem to have a certain aspect of outside the club hating because they can't get in. And then the women that say this are women that no one is lusting after, because when men lust after women, they benefit from it. So those men, those women who are being lusted after, they're not going to go against their own imperatives. They're not going to go against what works for them. They're not going to have an issue with it. They'll pretend that they don't like, well, I dress like this for me and I don't, do this for men. But at the same time, they're going to continue to do so because they know what happened with men. Like, I have a hard time understanding where this is coming from.
I don't know if it's a response to me or not. My premise is the same as yours. I would say, Willie, the premise that I was saying is that, like, I know a particular guy that doesn't struggle with lust, but he can recognize a beautiful woman. And it was odd to me when I was a youngster that I was in my 20s. It was very surprising to me that he was able to do that, because that was some of the things that I struggled with at the time. And he started talking about how it hasn't been an issue for him, similar to the reasons of what the guy had stated. So my statement to you, Ma, was that there are guys that can do the situation where they're not lusting, but they can recognize an attraction for the woman. Those are two different things.
Go ahead, Cloud.
I think that can be true, but I think the reality is everybody got different levels of testosterone. And a lot of the guys that you looking at and thinking that these guys just have this excellent self-control, a lot of them just don't have the level of urges you got. They got lower testosterone. So they're presenting it to you as a lot of them, like Willie said, it's like they outside the club looking in. They see you with a high level of testosterone acting a certain way, and they're saying you shouldn't act like that because they can't perceive acting that way because they don't have that level of testosterone. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some guys could bust 4 or 5 nuts a day. Some guys one and done. Some guys one a week is good. You know, everybody got a different body is different. Everybody got different size nuts. Everybody got different levels of testosterone. And at the end of the day, everybody has a different requirement for what they need to feel sexually satisfied. So to me, it just seems like the lust thing a lot of time is just like a way to control men's behavior or to police men. And the reason why I say that is because lust is completely allowed and not shamed when it's in the right scenario, the quote unquote right scenario. So again, and I brought this conversation up before. If I'm married and I want to have sex with my wife 3-4 times a day, no one would say that I'm inflicted by lust. No one would say that. I can have sex with my wife 3-4 times a day. All we do is have sex. No one will bat an eyelash at it. But if a guy who's single has sex with one woman every week, once a week, or even, matter of fact, let's make it once a month. A single guy has sex once a month, but with a different woman every month, they're going to say he has a lust problem. He can't commit. Meanwhile, the single guy is busting way less nuts, and the married guy is nutting every single day. So I think it's really about control. If they know that you're locked to one woman, then it's cool. But I don't think there's something in society that doesn't want to see men living to a certain level of fruitfulness, like having a lot of women, a lot of resources, and just having it their way. Like something about our society says having it your way is wrong, you know? But then when we look in the Bible, you know, all of the men that were having it their way were considered men after God's own heart. Those were the men considered the most righteous. The wisest man of all time, who was given his wisdom directly from God, had an abundance of women. King David, a man after God's own heart, had an abundance of women. You know what I mean? Like even after Adam was made, the literal first thing God said to him to do was to be fruitful and multiply. That was the first thing said. Yo, go fuck. So in my opinion, it's like this idea that lust is somehow inherently wrong is strange to me. I think that what happened is that when man ate of the tree of knowledge and good and evil, we learned how to judge ourselves, which is why when we saw ourselves naked and said, oh, we're naked, God was like, well, who told you was naked? Because who told you to judge yourself? And I think ever since then, we've had it all screwed up. We're trying to be God and judge ourselves. But God made us and said that we were perfect. Like when God made the world and made mankind, he said that it was good. So, and we're talking about the God that created everything, the God, the one who knows all, made humankind and said, it is good. And then we ate of his fruit and decided, no, it's not good. We're supposed to do this. We're supposed to do that instead of just being what God made us to be. So I'll end there.
That's so off, but okay.
What particular did you think was off?
I mean, the part about when you said that God said that who told you you was naked, that statement was wanting them to communicate to him that he had sinned by not following through with not eating of the tree of knowledge, good and knowledge. And as a result of them sinning, they were kicked out of the garden. Secondly, David, David and Solomon, they did have a lot of wives and concubines and things of that nature. And it was but if you would take a moment and remember the reason why his kingdom came down as it was because he had sex with Bathsheba when he wasn't supposed to. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, I mean, David's kingdom didn't fall because he had sex with Bathsheba. But if you notice that even when he had sex
His
with
kid
Bathsheba,
died, bro.
all right, but just notice when he had sex with Bathsheba, what God said to him. God said, "Why did you do that? I could have given you more wives." Meaning the problem was not that he was lusting after more women. The problem is that he took another man's wife. That was the problem. It's what he did. He sinned against another man. The problem wasn't the women. That wasn't it. And the same with Solomon, because I know a lot of people bring up Solomon. They say, "Oh, his wives led him astray." But Solomon, having the wives didn't lead him astray. It was following their gods that led him astray. Once Solomon decided, you know what? Basically, he started letting the women lead him. That's when his kingdom fell. But if he kept having more and more wives and was keeping his pimp hand strong and keeping his foot down, he would have been good. He would have had an even bigger, more prosperous kingdom. It was his internal weakness. He lost frame. And it's ironic because like that applies. We see that on the internet all the time. The worst thing a man can do with a woman is lose frame. Your frame is everything when dealing with women. And that's what it was. He lost frame.
Humble Dad, did God say that? God said he would give him more wives?
Yeah. The culture at that time, I'm sorry?
Why you only got one wife?
Because according to the New Testament, you're only supposed to have one wife. The Old Testament and the culture was totally different. It also says for us to be obedient to the laws of the land that you live in as well too. So
Are we gonna debate the Bible now?
Yeah, they tried to do this last time, so that's why I'm not saying too much.
Hey, if I'm not mistaken, though, as far as with Solomon, I think where he went astray was him pursuing those women. Of course, him serving or starting to embrace their gods that they had. But if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, God told him not to mess with these specific women from these different tribes. And that's where it essentially went astray.
Humble Dad excluded. I've never seen a man that has this type of viewpoint or rhetoric that wouldn't fold if you put the right girl in front of him. That wouldn't do everything he's telling you not to do if he had those women around him. It's always the guys who don't, who are saying who abstain or trying to stay away from him. But you know what I'm saying? It's like you guys know if you send if the right girl comes across the right guy, he's doing whatever she wants to do, especially if you're saying she's willing to let him. And it's unfortunate that these guys don't do it from a good place. I take issue with people when they cite or quote the Bible just to prove their viewpoints and the shit that they think or they believe to feel is true. And when they do that, like that's when the hypocrisy comes out. For example, not Humble Dad specifically, but you know, a lot of people say that the New Testament says to do this and the Old Testament says to do that. So then if that's the case, then if what's in the Old Testament doesn't matter and it's been overridden, why do we talk about it?
I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
You didn't say that, but that's what was alluded to in your response to Clout. So if the Old Testament is, you know, old and overwritten, why are we still talking about it? Why are we referencing anything in it? The 10 Commandments, any of those things. So I've never understood how, you know, people can have these conversations and not be talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Have you ever studied? So just to be clear, have you studied the Bible before?
Unfortunately, and I've read the Bible like it's the greatest work of science fiction ever. So I read it from both viewpoints.
Okay. So you're saying that, so then that means that you believe that the Old and New Testament go together.
No, it's saying that I believe what's in the Bible. I've read it. I understand what's in there. I have an issue with the way that people conveniently use what's in there and pick and choose their points they want to use based off of what the topic is.
Okay. I agree with that statement. But in relation to the comment about lust being a demon, that is in the scripture. Okay. That's in Ephesians 6 and 12. Like, what are we debating?
We
It
shouldn't.
also says if you lust on a woman that's not your wife, that's a sin. I don't understand.
So
Yeah,
we,
there's no
we
there's
Yeah,
no
but it
argument.
doesn't say it's a demon.
so we shouldn't debate it because, and we don't need to necessarily jump to the Bible when we got 10 men up here that can share an experience based off of the struggle or the topic at hand. That way we don't got to dive into debating around the Bible.
Yeah.
I think the argument is strong that unless you got some medical issue or some type of aging that is causing you to be able to handle when a woman that would normally appeal sexually to you, unless it's that, you're gonna want to look at her in a desiring way. That's just biology. And the thing is, you don't act on it, or you act on it. That's the difference. There's guys out there that's just sharpen their control mechanisms to where they don't necessarily act on it, but they see it. They just know that, hey, look, this is trouble. And if I'm married, this is even more trouble. So I think that is where we should focus.
Right.
Yeah, real quick, we're gonna try to get M White and Fresh in there. Cloud, you can finish what you was gonna say though first.
No, I was gonna say that although I don't think lust is a demon, I do feel that lust can be an inhibitor of a more spiritual experience, of a more spiritually conscious experience. So I do think that if you can resist lust, if you can consciously put lust out of your mind, it does open you up spiritually to be able to have more profound spiritual experiences, whether that be hearing the voice of God, whether that be feeling more connected with those around you, your loved ones. But I definitely do think that a lot of the spiritual energy that goes into the desire of sex and having sex, if you're able to store that energy as opposed to use that energy, I think it can take you to different levels spiritually. And they talk about this when they talk about chakras and all of this. The Bible talks about this kind of, even athletes talk about this. Like a lot of athletes will not have sex before they're about to go perform because there's extra energy that they can cultivate or they can transmute their sexual energy. I think that's definitely something to dive into and talk about. But I think the idea that lust and sexuality itself is a negative, I think that just kind of, it turns people off and it doesn't really get people the right mind frame to really be able to understand what sexuality is. But it's absolutely just as important as enjoying it is. It's just as important to be able to control it, abstain from it, and do it by choice. You know
Let me ask you a question, Cloud.
So hold
Let me
on.
ask you just one question.
Hold on, real
Sure.
quick. Only because we had Fresh and Emily waiting for a minute.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think in the clip, there's a lot of generalization in order to just be sensational. And when it comes to the idea of a spirit, I struggle with not just looking at it as the ability to not focus on something that isn't going to serve you in the first place. If you have experience with losing, time, money, resources by engaging after, I guess lust or just losing your focus and focusing on women, the next time that you come to that, more than likely you would have the ability to say, no, that's not really going to serve me. So when the idea of it being a demon is introduced, it kind of seems to me as almost a way to escape responsibility. You are actually responsible to say no. If a woman comes across my DJ booth and I know she's looking good, yes, I'm going to look at her, right? Let's say I notice she's got a wedding band. Immediately, my mind is like, that's off limits, right? And going back to what you all were talking about before, if I do see the same woman walking past me, if I consistently engage with my imagination or consistently just gaze at her almost in a manner that is uncomfortable, yeah, that would be incorrect. But that would just be me also not controlling myself. I'm responsible for me being able to avert my gaze. I'm responsible for me being able to focus on what actually serves me rather than just only think about ass.
Right. Emily, what you got?
Yeah, shit. I appreciate the way y'all cooked this whole thing, especially Clout. I think I agree with Dan and everything Clout said. That shit was super on point. Like super duper, he touched on Dan and everything. My question though is like, if our biological urges create sin, why would we be created with them? Like, it had the expectation to fight against them. Like, I can't really wrap my mind around how we're programmed to do something, but the person who programmed us is blaming us for doing that. I understand when you go, you overindulge in anything, it could become an issue. But to say just the idea of being attracted to women and to have natural urges and want to go through it, and it's literally your biology, like you can't do nothing about it, especially when you're younger. Like, I just feel like that we don't have honest conversation, not anybody on the panel, but in society, we don't have an honest conversation about men's biology and the role that testosterone plays in it, because we kind of play it off as men and women are the same. Men just need to get more disciplined and become better, and that's not really what's going on. It's something deeper than that happening. And to just say men need to follow God, and then they'll be able to just have the perfect discipline, and then you find out that this pastor is sleeping with an underage boy. This pastor got four women that ain't his wife pregnant. And this man over here been sleeping with everybody in the church and got a scandal, man and women. This one right here been sleeping with the choir director. And these all things. I was talking to Ice Cube's son earlier. He took me to a YouTube page, and all it was videos of pastors getting caught doing this stuff. And I'm like, these the main people telling me that in the Donnie McKirkland example, he was doing the pray away the gay appointment or consultation. And these people, like, I've heard this story multiple times. Gay men will go to these pastors to get that part removed, and the pastors will pray on that and have sex with them. Like, we continuously hear this type of stuff happening from men to women, people utilizing that. And he's the same, the Catholic Church. They the main one saying you shouldn't have no sexual content. And they got billions and billions of dollars of sexual abuse allegations going on right now because they couldn't stop doing it. And the people knew it was so prevalent, they just start moving them around. Like, all right, yeah, we know that we're not gonna kick them out the priesthood because that happens often with people who don't have sex with anyone. They tend to have sex with children. I don't know. That shit is weird to me. I think if you are a man, you have natural urges towards a woman, and if you don't have urges towards a woman, it's easy to not have an urge towards a woman if you have urges for something else you can't talk about. And then you can hide that until you get in a position to act on it. And then that's when it come out in the wash. I really do. I think when you were saying you struggle with lust, I think that was because you're a man that likes women and you don't like none of this weird shit. Not to put no aspersions on the person you said didn't struggle with it, but I question any man that sees a woman walk by that all of us would find attractive and has zero feelings for it whatsoever. I don't think you biologically like women at the end of the day, because our bodies react.
I mean, that's I think, like, man, I think it's unfair to put how we feel about something on somebody else, right?
That's fair. This is my personal opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're saying that you don't know the guy, and just because of how you feel, you're going to say, I don't think that it's true about him, right? So
let me take it off him. Let me take it off him. I'll take it off him so I can keep going. I'll take it off him. I'm saying in general, when we talk about the main people who are saying that they want to abstain from all types of sex, scandals seem to come out in these blocks of there's trends. There's a trend in the Catholic Church. There's a trend with some of these pastors doing the things I'm talking about. And these are the main people who would sit there and tell you that you're sinning by feeling what your natural biology is saying. Remove it off your friend. I'm not trying to cast aspersions. I was trying to highlight the point that the people who are telling you don't have discipline, you should be doing XYZ, when the truth come out, they were doing something that's beyond what we think is natural.
But that would be considered wrong, though, right? Because they acted upon that, right?
It's wrong to have feelings for children. It's wrong to have
No. I'm not talking about the children. I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about to act upon your sexual lust upon a woman that's not your wife. That would be wrong, wouldn't you think? No, I
NY
don't. I
does.
don't.
NY agree with NY is saying that you can't say that the biology into it is a sin, and that any man can just turn that off whenever you got men that are anointed and
Yeah,
are
I know.
charged
I'm
with a
saying I
higher
wasn't
reputation.
saying that I'm
That is,
talking about the attraction makes
well,
sense, right?
but that's what I'm saying. What he's trying to say is his initial question is, why are we associating sin with a natural innate behavior?
Biological action, right?
I think what he's exposing is that even the anointed, even the people that are entrusted with the utmost reputation, has an issue being able to carry forth this type of discipline, which confirms that biology is not a sin. It is only wrong when you act on it.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I think
So
that
we're gonna jump into some super chats, and then we got another clip coming up. And White, you got us.
Okay. Watch the screen. 777 with the $5. Our society has shamed male convenience. I think that's our society has shamed male biology. Honestly, men are judged on their ability to be good women. Healthy green lifestyle. 690 with the $5. What do y'all think about Pastor Dow biblical polygyny? I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah,
Can I respond to that? Because that's around the question that super chat with the polygyny is right around the question I was going to ask Clout or whoever was well rounded with the word. For example, let's just pretend everybody on here collectively agree that you're supposed to just have one wife, and we know that we have a commandment that says be fruitful and multiply, meaning go and procreate the world. And let's say you find out that your wife is barren or whatever term means that she cannot have children or she cannot produce. Her fertility is not there. Does that mean that he is screwed, or can he go find another woman or obtain another wife or vessel and be able to carry out the commandment, be fruitful and multiply? That's the question. Because where do you draw the line between things that is written and things that came in a different testament saying that, oh, you're not supposed to have multiple? Because if you're going to say it's technology, then that means everybody pre-technology that couldn't use artificial insemination is screwed. That's where you come into a contradiction. Because if I'm the creator, and I know this is I'm raising myself to a position that's unrealistic. If a man chooses a wife, there's no way he's going to know until he actually attempt to get her pregnant and have children. But once he find out that she can have children, I think it's acceptable for him to find a woman who can bring forth his seed. Do we agree or not? Or are we supposed to just say this man is just stuck for life and he's screwed and his bloodline ends at him?
I think being barren is actually grounds for divorce. I could be right. Is that not biblically a grounds for divorce?
That's
not biblical.
No. I think that in that situation, is that then calls upon the conversation of having that conversation, because you still got to respect your covenant, right? So I think in that situation, and we've seen examples in Scripture of that very situation happening, and in that man being able to have a child with someone that's outside of his wife. So I think I don't think that part is not unacceptable. I think that is only unacceptable if he's doing it in the dark. If the wife isn't aware of it, I think that's when
so if both of them
it was unacceptable. That situation, if you're referring to was it you're talking about the one that was barren and she decided to tell him you can have sex with my maid servant, right? God did not say okay to that.
But only
it
for one
actually was
reason,
a situation that turned out bad for them if you once you read the text.
But it only turned out bad because God told him that Sarah was going to get pregnant, and they didn't have faith. And so then they
Oh, so
went
that
on.
changes things.
Really?
No, but I'm just saying in the Bible that's what it was. He told
That's
them
not
that
why. You can't say that.
he told Abraham that Sarah would bear a child, and he didn't believe God. He didn't have faith in him. So when she wasn't bearing a child, she said, "Yo, you could take my servant Hagar to have a child with." And then after Hagar, I believe she did bear a child after. Correct?
Yes, and it was very tumultuous situation.
So was
But
a matter.
that was because Sarah was spiteful of it. That wasn't because God was upset about it. That was because Sarah was spiteful from it.
Okay.
So now that we got that understood going forward, we can collectively agree that there are means biologically and genetically, or where somebody is not fit to be able to bring forth children. There is a caveat for a man to have another wife in order to continue his immorality.
I think plead the fifth on this one. I think.
See, this is a corner for us to turn that's important for the audience, because this settles the argument about multiple wives in one fashion, not the just desiring or gluttonous. This settles it. Like, this is a caveat. Like, this is a real, like, it makes sense that somebody would want to go through it in this angle.
I think they plead the fifth, Darwin.
No, I think y'all should just study that situation for sure, and not just make it based on how you feel about something. There are very hard things that God asks us to do all the time.
All right, y'all, let's go ahead and keep moving. Let's go ahead and get to this first clip of this Jamal. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. What's going on, chat? I see you guys. I'm just trying to make sure we keep this show rolling. Y'all good? On the well-being check. Willie, I know Willie was switching cameras, so hopefully he's watching and be able to bring him to speed. Here we go.
I needed to deal with it head on, because the other day the internet went crazy about a dress my wife had on. Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down. They never said anything about this was the largest fundraiser for HBCUs in the country. But insecure, jealous, petty, small-minded people got in their feelings and set up a false barometer of holiness based off of a dress. Now, you got to help some people, because some people have embraced the full knowledge of ignorance without any assistance for understanding. The dress was not see-through. The dress was flesh color. But because you ain't never been nowhere and ain't never been exposed to nothing, furthermore, I needed to set the record straight. Y'all don't like this. I need to set the record straight. I bought the dress. And I like it. I don't care whether you like it or not. She ain't married to y'all. She married to me. Now, if you wanted a first lady that looked like Little House on the Prairie and Holly Hobbie, you got the wrong church. I wanted a wife I would rush home to, that I wanted to be excited to see. When we walked in there, I said, shake it fast, watch yourself. If you don't have nobody that you excited about, trade that booger in and find you somebody that Negroes can talk about. How did you bag that? Let me say to you, I'm a public servant. I've been a public servant my whole life. I don't mind, nor am I offended, nor am I moved if you talk about me. Have at it. But you ain't gonna talk about my wife. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. The same way you respect me, you gonna have to respect her. And if you don't respect her, find you somewhere else to go. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me, but you ain't gonna be in my face and dishonor my wife. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I need some people that will fight for yours, that will stand for yours, that will demand respect for yours.
Oh man, oh man.
Nasty work. Did y'all know that she was covered up all the way to her neck in the new video?
She was covered up in the she was covered up in the image.
What? And that with the flesh colored black dress? Whatever?
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, she was covered up.
I hear you.
No,
Her titties was out, bro. You can't see her.
Not for church.
See all that
We're not gonna do that, yo. We're not gonna do that. If I was a single man in her age bracket, I would be like, yeah, I need that. I need that.
Right.
If I was a single man in her age bracket. Every man who her shape is showing, her figure. It's a very suggestive dress. It's flesh colored on top of like gripping onto her figure. That dress looks like Megan. I can see Megan Thee Stallion wearing that, and I wouldn't bat an eyelash. I'd be like, oh, it's Megan Thee Stallion.
If you look at the video, the people who are hyping them up and doing all that shit are just the dick eating demons that are in his church. Like I done told y'all, it's like if the largest concentration of women are in church. Like hoes go from hoes only have two routes they go. They become religious women or they become realtors. Those are the only two things they do. So
y'all call that man wife a hoe?
No,
I'm not gonna say that.
So hold on. So Mark, you see this woman with her husband, and you a single man. You gonna try to holler at this man's wife?
No, I wasn't saying
that's what you just said that though.
Yeah, so let me clarify what I meant.
That's not what he said.
If I saw a woman like that, not with a husband, not with a ring, I would be like, yo, I need that. I need that.
Hey, watch this.
Okay, hold on. So y'all know y'all just moved the goalpost. I think everybody would agree that if the woman was single dressed like that, then maybe she fair game. But this is a man's wife, so whenever you go ahead, Willie.
Darwin, if you saw them two niggas out, would you think that man was a pastor with the way that woman was dressed?
No,
it doesn't matter whether it doesn't matter whether he's a pastor. His title as a minister don't got anything to do with it.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Absolutely does.
Is that how you respect a minister or a pastor?
Let me put it in perspective. A man with his wife, the only status that actually matters to indict somebody to look at her sexually objective is their relationship status together, not whether he's a pastor. The fact that is that man's wife, and they're married. So if y'all brought y'all wives, and that's why I'm glad you cleared it out, Mark, because when you made a step, you said, if I'm a single man, if I saw her, I'm trying to knock her down. But it's under the presupposition that that woman is married to that man that is holding her hand. I think that's important, so you don't get mischaracterized.
I wouldn't blame a man at all. Like, so when I see guys who in the gym with their woman and they woman got it's like everything is out. They got on the short shorts and the tights and all that type of stuff. If men are looking at his woman like, yo, I don't give a fuck about him. Like, I want that. I don't blame those men. I don't.
They don't take an outfit for a man to do that.
I'm sorry.
Men are doing that regardless of a revealing outfit.
No, not
exactly. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but Mike,
it does not require for a man to
look. As men, right? We understand respect, right? We understand a man who commands respect from his wife. We understand a man whose wife respects him. But if we see a man and we see a woman who looks like, oh, your wife don't respect you at all, you don't have no control over your wife, there are a lot of men who would.
Where do you get that he don't have control?
If she dressing crazy,
He just said that he the one went and bought the dress. How is that?
Yeah, no. I'm just talking about perception and how we as men view it. If I see you and your wife is wearing something like that, I'm gonna think she wear whatever she want to wear, and you can't really say nothing about it.
What I want to do is remove the assumption that there's a lack of respect, because you can see a man with a modest a wife that's modest, and she don't have no fucking respect for him.
I don't
So
think
we don't want to make respect contingent on the outfit that a woman wears.
But when you speak generally, though, a woman who respects her wife in his position won't dress like that. If you look there's several pastors. Tony Evans from Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship in Texas. Look at how his wife dressed. Pastor Freddie Haynes from Friendship West. Look at how his wife dressed. TD Jakes before the Diddy shit. Look at how his wife dressed.
You're talking about pastors, and you're talking about the cloth.
No,
there's an expectation to carry yourself. There's not a matter of respect.
I'm talking about their wives being a reflection of them.
Okay, I'm just trying to separate the expectation for modesty and the fact that the man has respect for the woman who's dressed like that.
The expectation for modesty is because she's a pastor's wife.
Exactly.
That's where the expectation comes from.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not a matter of respect. It's a matter of modesty and decorum for the actual way you're supposed to dress.
As a pastor's wife, she shouldn't dress like that if she respected the fact that he's a pastor.
For me,
if the man says
that dress was crazy
allows
for married couple.
Go ahead, Cloud. You got it.
My bad. Yeah, I was gonna say for me, I don't think that dress was crazy for like the average married couple. Like if you and your wife were going out to a ball, a banquet, or something like that, and she's dressed with a dress like that, I wouldn't say I particularly like that dress. It could be a little more modest, but it wouldn't be that offensive for me. The thing for me that makes it inappropriate is the title, specifically for me. He's a pastor, which means he's a spiritual leader. He's supposed to be an emissary for God in the flesh, right? Which is meaning he's not supposed to be prideful. He's supposed to be humble. He's supposed to champion modest attire, which doesn't attract a lot of attention to yourself. It's about bringing the glory to God, not bringing the glory to yourself. Now, am I saying everybody needs to be like that on a day-to-day basis? Absolutely not. Everybody's not necessarily a Christian. Everybody's not necessarily of that moral cloth. However, he professes to be that. He professes to be a pastor and a spiritual leader. So being that that's what he calls himself is disrespectful to the title. I don't think his wife necessarily looked like a whore or anything like that, because there was one pastor I saw say that his wife looked like a $2 whore. And I don't think that's the case. But what I will say is that it's distasteful. I mean, all of the lines, for example, on the bottom half of her outfit convene on her coochie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's designed to look like she's wearing lingerie and she's naked underneath. And I feel like that sends the wrong message for a pastor's wife. Even just the style, like the big hair, the way it forms to her body, like that's more fitting on a Beyonce, an entertainer, someone whose goal is here to get your attention, because that's what they do. But you're the pastor's wife, and the problem is that how are you going to teach these men, because you're supposed to be guiding men also as a pastor to be able to have modesty and humbleness within their homes, but you're the pastor and you're not even instilling that.
He doesn't believe in that though.
Well, if he doesn't believe in that, then he shouldn't call himself a pastor. I think that if that's not what he believes in,
to be a pastor, it's not contingent on whether you believe in it or not.
Call himself a motivational speaker. Call himself an entertainer. You know, like he said, he was a public servant. He can be an entertainer. He can be a blogger. He can be all those things and be free of public scrutiny. But the problem is that he's calling himself a servant of God, while his actions are the opposite of God's message, which is about piety, humility, you know what I mean, and things like that. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like stay in line with the message. You could.
I would say that he's on par. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, AC.
I'm with you wholeheartedly, Cloud. I think based upon who he is, this is right on par with who he is. I mean, the goal for him is to provide a show and a spectacle. He knew that this would cause a conversation. I've been following Jamal Bryant just because, I've been in the church for a very long time. I mean, for people to, if you know his background, it doesn't even make sense for him to even be in that position, but somebody said yes to it, right? And so as it relates to the dress, the dress was more so wanting to bring attention to him and his wife. That's what the whole goal was, and he achieved his goal. Because if you're really if you just read the Bible for a moment, even outside the Bible, let's take it like this. My wife said it like this. No woman of prestige dresses like that. Even when you look at worldly women that are in a particular, like any first lady across the world does not dress like that. So for her to do it and for him to say he bought the dress, I just think that it was very shameful. And this is one of the reasons why some people stay away from the church, but also it is one of the reasons why people like his congregation go to the church, because he doesn't really come against what they're doing, right? And then, I don't know if y'all heard or paid attention to it, he told men to divorce their wife or go get another woman if she is not fitting to his eyes.
Actually, he said
Trade
that to the
Trade
women.
that booger nobody want to look at her. Get rid of it. That's what he said.
Yeah, so it's just really bad. I don't know why people even follow Jamal Bryant, other than what the scripture says that they will go where it sounds good to their ears. So
people follow Jamal Bryant because he is Future with a Bible. That nigga has 7 baby mamas, and the only difference between him and Future is the fact that he uses God to infuse his bullshit to his congregation. I'm saying like-minded dick-eating women. Like it's so frustrating that we always highlight the terrible pastors, the pastors who aren't doing the stuff, like doing what they're supposed to do. But at the same time, the ones who are doing their job, stay out the fucking way.
Yeah,
they're not celebrities. They're not trying to be seen. But then you got niggas like this that come out and then say, okay, well, you know, hey, well, I bought the dress. You just a nigga that can as far as we concerned, you can't control your hoe. Because instead of just saying you don't want your girl to do this, you're gonna support it because you know she's gonna do it anyway. You one of them type of niggas. So it's just weird that now, because it was a flesh-colored dress, you knew what the fuck she looked like. Like, you bought the dress, you said, right? So when you tried it on and you found the dress that matched her skin tone perfectly somehow, right? Cool. And now that we're talking about it, you get mad and you go on this rant in front of your congregation of women who want to be like your wife, who wish they could dress like that, who wish they had a man like you, who wish they had that type of access and that type of notoriety. So you go in there and say everything. What part of the Bible was that shit coming from? Please tell me a book and verse that says, if you don't have a woman that's worth looking at, go get you a new one. And ladies, if your man don't look at you like that, go get you a new one. And not just your man, your husband. Like where is that at in the Bible?
The thing is that he's a soundbite preacher.
Yes.
Right. We've seen him go viral for saying things that we wouldn't expect for a preacher to even be in the pulpit to talk about. So with him understanding that, with us all understanding now that clout is a hell of a drug. It's a very addictive drug, especially now. So what we're seeing from him clearly is that he's a straight up soundbite preacher. So he's just out there to say things that he know is going to go viral.
It's not even him, man. We're looking at the wrong part.
Might name my album that, Viz. Thanks.
We're looking at the wrong part of this.
Cloud is a hell of a drug.
It's not even about.
Hey, that's what you should name your first
LP
album.
coming soon.
Yeah, that should be your first album.
We got let
It's
Hank
not even
on.
It's not even about Jamal Bryant. We're looking at this from the wrong.
Let me get it. Y'all been talking for a long goddamn time.
All this is doing is exposing.
Yeah, I need to say something though.
Everybody got the wrong idea about people in church and people in the pulpit. And the people that's mad is the people that's supposed to be devout Christians and church people that is trying to protect the innocence of the church. And what's happening is all of the truth is starting to leak from the cracks and everybody's shocked. You know who ain't shocked? The people who know that all of that shit was a facade in the first place. Not necessarily the word, but this position that people take in church about being holier than thou, and that because they're anointed, they absolve themselves from temptation and sin. People in the church don't like that all of this stuff is coming out. Social media is put, just like NY said, footage is coming out. They want to protect, they want to hide that. They've been doing it for hundreds of years. But because it's getting out that, hey, look, these people in the church is just like you and me. They're not immoral. They're not supreme. They're not super. They just like everybody else, and they do the same bullshit, and nobody likes it. And Jamal recognizes it, and he's just going to be a pastor that's going to live authentically. And there's a lot of pastors that want to do that, but they can't. They got to keep putting on the facade because they got a status, they got a title, And the people would rather you put on a fake facade than to be real behind a pulpit like a human being. That's what it is. That's what this is all about.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Hank.
it's just a biblical
Yeah, that's
menstrual
just
cycle.
crazy. Yeah, I don't. We just got to know what we're dealing with. That dude is. I think he's gay. The motherfucker said something to Cam, calling that man's legs nice and shit. That's some gay shit I've heard in my goddamn life. His wife got a BBL. We forget about him doing that for. Look, she's trying to sexualize herself, and whether he want to sit there and say, he tried to save face. Yeah, I bought the dress. No, you didn't buy the dress, but she told you what she's going to get and what she's going to wear, and you had no choice but to like it. So now you try to save
No, he
face
paid
by
for
saying,
it. He ain't buy it. He paid for it.
Oh, he said he bought the dress.
No, he's lying. He just paid for it.
No, he paid for it.
No, hey,
It doesn't matter. It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been bought, paid for, rented, whatever the case. Look, I don't give it. If you're a married woman, why are you dressing like this? You doing that because you trying to get the attention of other men. That's what you're doing. Your husband already shows he pay attention to you, but you trying to get attention of other men. That's my opinion about it.
Do you?
He said
for the man who
he's clearly a little, got a little sweetness in him. So maybe she need to be advertising for another man.
Maybe she's trying to get a third party man in there. I don't know.
He said it. You ain't hear when he said, "If I want other men to look at my wife and be like, damn, I want that."
That's crazy.
I think
he's a cut for sure.
I think he said, "How did you snag that?"
Snag that.
Look, all of that stuff is crazy to me. Like I said, he's in the line. He's in the perfect city for all that shit to go down. So it's all fair and love and war. He's okay with that shit. You know what I'm saying? He's for some. Cloud, you got mad. I guess somebody called his wife. No, his wife is a whore, and she has no problem with being that. You look at the deacons in the back when he had that speech. Look. Let me finish, man. Look at them deacons in the back when he was giving his goddamn speech. They was all looking at her ass. You think they was worried about what the fuck he was saying? They didn't give a shit about what he said. They just enjoying the backside of her ass. He came down there and showed off. Now she want to dress modest on the day he had that sermon. You wasn't dressing modest then. Keep wearing your whole ass outfits, showing off your BBL. That's all right. You know, you for the streets. He just got a woman that's for the streets, and he's okay with that. Why? Because he likes men looking at his woman. He likes other men, so he can bring them into the fold. Maybe they can all be in a bedroom together, and they can have a lot of fun, Diddy style. I'll leave it there.
So I ain't never in my life seen a BBL chick become modest after she got one. It's almost like
does anybody on the panel think that she's a whore?
Yes, I do.
So how?
Because the way she dressed.
Okay,
so she moves.
So everybody who dressed like that is
me, she's a whore.
Per King Talk Tuesday's approval, we're going on the record say from now on, from here on out, the women that dress like that are whores.
Not all.
I have no problem.
I think women who dress provocative are whores.
I have no problem with that, Willie. I called him.
I'm just trying to make sure that's understood, so that we have a.
So, why are you defending it so much? Are you okay with this?
Am I okay with what? Is woman dressed that way?
Yes.
Yeah, it's irrelevant whether I'm okay or not. It doesn't make me lose sleep.
I need to know from what your mindset is.
But my issue is that I think it's dangerous.
Are you okay with it? So you say, yeah, you okay with it, right?
I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to push the narrative that women who wear that outfit is automatically by default a whore.
Stop avoiding my goddamn question. Yes or no? Do you think it's okay for her to dress like that? You say
yes.
Yes. Okay, cool.
One thing about it, as I elaborate, is I have a firm boundary on how men operate with their wives within their marriage. If the husband says I'm okay with it and this is how I want to move, who the hell am I to invade on how he operate within his household with his wife?
You're not in his household.
The only way it becomes a problem for me.
We have every right to judge, though, don't we, Don?
You do, but make sense about it. So whenever you say that somebody's wife is a whore, just because they're wearing that, then we got to say all women who wear that type of attire is.
But Darwin, this is the question right here. How do you feel about Adam 22?
Hold on, bro. The problem with it is you cannot substantiate whether or not she is actually a whore by making that statement, and it just makes it illogical. And
How
if
do you
we
feel
supposed to
about
be
adding?
guys on King Talk, we got to at least address that. Like, wouldn't y'all want to address that?
Hey, Dar, just so you know, it's not King Talk no more. It's called the Culture Code.
Well, that's even worse.
So, answer your question, Darwin, since you are okay with that and that we're not allowed to judge because of that, we're also not only dressing like that, but the way she's moving. That's part of the problem. Why do you need to get a BBL as a pastor's wife?
She didn't get a BBL. That's a rumor.
Okay.
It's a rumor. See, that's what I'm saying. So if we making these statements, it's okay to say it's inappropriate for her to dress like that. But to say that she's been in the bed with multiple people without confirmation, that's like a defamation. I wouldn't wish that on nobody.
Well, we can present it as our opinion it's not defamation unless we present it as fact.
That's what I'm saying. So whenever you have an opinion saying that, okay, she's a whore, and I ask you how, and you say just because the way she's dressed.
Darwin, you don't have to. You don't.
Your attire don't determine your promiscuity or whatever.
So Darwin, as men,
hold on. I know what it is. I know what it is.
You get what I'm saying?
So Willie, you remember what you said earlier?
I don't know, bro.
Willie, you remember what you said earlier? You said certain men don't get women.
You're giving who pushback?
So Darwin's one of these guys who don't get women. So he think, oh, I think it's because he's accept that bullshit.
We can't say he don't get women. He got 15 baby mamas.
I'm talking about Darwin.
Darwin. My bad.
That's another stupid statement. How can you confirm that I don't get women because I'm trying to logically dismantle the statement that you said because of someone's attire?
Well,
examples.
But the fact of the matter is, Darwin, is that
we talked about when you couldn't feel like you couldn't beat out Sam Cassell, the damn near ugliest man on the planet.
Okay,
you
so
said
now
he
you
could get. No. This is what you said. You said
talking about the matter at hand. I'm talking about making a statement that somebody's wife is a whore because of our outfit.
Well, so Darwin,
I didn't just say the outfit. I said how she moves and operates. That also affects.
You need to rewind it back.
The way she talks, the way she moves, the way she carries herself. That gets me whore-like. That gets me whore-like behavior.
Okay, what does she say?
Let me say this real quick. I think that we can all agree, especially if we're considering scripture in this, even outside of scripture, right? We all understand that everyone wears some type of uniform. So if you outside wearing a uniform of a Jezebel, then just so happen, people are going to consider or think that you are a Jezebel. If you're outside in the collar wearing that, then people are going to assume that you're a preacher, a pastor, whatever the case may be, right? So we all wear uniforms. So if you are a woman that's the first lady of a church, you're the wife of a pastor, and you're outside wearing what it is that she's wearing, as revealing as it was, arguably, especially, I grew up old school church. You couldn't go in church with no strapless top on, especially the first lady. You better throw a sash over that motherfucker or something. But just to be out, just with your titties out, you know what I'm saying, your shoulders out, no, that was something that you couldn't do. So I think with us blurring the lines, because that's essentially what's happening, we're continuously blurring the lines of the world and church, in which of course is going to be a major problem, in which we continue to see
that don't make sense,
comes from that.
I'll tell you the problem that I have with it. You remember when James Harden?
That makes sense though.
I don't know. Trev want to go. I was going to address you, but go ahead, Trev. I'll just come back. I'll remember. Trust me. Go ahead, Trev.
All right. I was only going to say, all right, you remember when James Harden had a $200 million deal with Adidas, and then he got caught wearing Nikes? You can't do that. Bro got a covenant with God. He can't do that. You can't, your wife, you have an image. You can't do that. Even if you take it to the fact that you should consider other churches and way it makes the church look overall and how it will deter people from even wanting to be part of that fellowship. These are the types of people with his antics and things like that make people no longer respect the church. These are the types of things that have ran men out of the church. This is why people don't believe in it in the first place. He should know better. He had to have thought when he was picking that out that this is going to be some shit. So he was aiming for that. This is the type of dude that he is. This to me, he just looks like the simp final boss at this point. Why on earth would you allow your woman to go outside like that? Flash colored, bro. That's wicked. The idea of that dress, regardless if it was a flash color dress or as a see-through dress, was for it to appear like she was naked underneath with no underwear. That's what the idea was. And regardless of if it was flesh colored or if it was her skin, when she walked by, a lot of dudes gonna pitch a tent. He is actually creating that lust that he is in turn preaching for people to control. That's crazy to me. And you're supposed to set an example, lead by example. And I don't think he's doing that well at all.
And Darwin, I wanted to challenge you on two things, Darwin. Two things. So first, the idea that so at least to me, in the way that I define whore, right? I don't care if I don't know a single man that you had sex with.
I don't care.
It's literally about how you present yourself and how you act. And I'm gonna say, oh, that's a whore, because we've all lived a long time and we know how to identify a whore. And then it's possible that you could be a woman who's a virgin, but you dress just like a whore. And to me, you're going, right? Maybe you didn't have the opportunity yet. Maybe you decided to be a whore today and moving forward, right? But if I see you and you dress like a whore, you're a whore to me. I don't need to, like, oh no, let's give her the benefit of the doubt because we don't know her body count. Let's ask her, what's your body count? Oh, she said it's only one. We're good. No, I'm not with that. No, you dress like a whore, you're a whore. But
so what did you challenge?
I was challenging the idea that we need to know what she's been doing sexually to know if she's a whore. That's not how men identify whores.
No, that's what you made a subjective statement saying that this is how I define. You made a subjective premise that you redefine what a whore is. That's prerogative. There's no argument. I was arguing on a general standpoint as an overall accepted definition amongst all men that the way somebody dress doesn't determine whether they're promiscuous or not. But if you saying that, in my opinion, in my perspective, this is how I change the definition. I can't argue if you want to change the definition. That's on you.
Got you. This is the real perspective that I wanted to challenge you on, right? The way that men identify whores, right? Because it seemed as if you were saying, like, we don't factually know what she's doing with her pussy and what she's ever done with her pussy. And if we don't, we can't call her a whore. Culturally, that's never been a thing. That's what I want to challenge you on. Men identify whores by characteristics, and we say, oh, she's a whore. We don't need even if my homie tell me he just hit a girl,
we're not talking about characteristics.
I don't know if he did it.
We're talking about clothing.
Yeah, that's one of the markers.
Now you moved it to characteristic. That's a different ball.
Wouldn't it take a certain character to? Wouldn't it take a certain character to?
Go ahead, my bad.
Wouldn't it take a certain character to go ahead and put that dress on, understand how it's going to look, and then go ahead and do it anyway?
Exactly.
Would it take a certain character?
Yes.
I wouldn't. I don't know. We want to use. Would it take a certain character? We could say it takes a certain means of accepting the scrutiny that comes behind it. And if you're okay with the scrutiny that comes behind wearing that dress, then it's totally fine. But if you're not okay with it, that's when it becomes a problem.
It's clear that they're not.
I get it, but we're not arguing whether or not this couple accepted the scrutiny going out. The argument is whether or not that dress determines whether she's promiscuous or not.
Well, I think that's
because because Viz made a statement saying that it's blurred now. We know in this society right now, in a sexually liberated society, where hookers and women who are virgins, all the way from the virgin all the way to the hooker, wears the same type of outfit, the same hairstyle. So it only makes sense to say that it's even harder to detect whether she is promiscuous or not because everything is blurred.
No, it's not blurred. It's more whores. It's not blurred. It's just
versus back then, there was a uniform. There's not a uniform anymore. So
there is a uniform still.
What?
There is a uniform. We have
there's definitely still a uniform.
There's a uniform. It's just been
not understanding what I'm saying. Okay, let me rephrase it.
I hear what you're saying.
Let's say it's 1940, and you see a woman with stilettos, and she got her dress all the way up to her ass cheek with a thong up her backside with barely no clothes on. In 1940, without a shadow of a doubt, maybe 10 times out of 10, that was a hooker on the street, right? But if you see a woman today in 2026 dressed close to that, you can't say the same thing because times have changed and people are now different and evolving. Okay, well, if I'm wrong, then I'll yield.
So, Darwin, why couldn't if a woman is exposing herself in that manner, why is it that we can't expect that or assume that she's selling it?
Because you can walk up to her and ask her if she's selling it, and she'll take it as an insult.
What?
So
wait, real quick.
Hold on. We all know.
Hold on, we gotta address it one step at a time, brothers. If you walk up to a woman today that's wearing a promiscuous attire,
let me finish.
You would take the chance of being insulting a woman and maybe getting slapped in the face for it.
Come on, man. It's men do it all the time, bro. We could easily use entertainers in this situation, right? Let's say there's a woman that's dressed the exact way that you just explained, and Sam Cassell walks up to her and say, "Man, how much is it?" Yeah, he might get slapped, but let LeBron James walk up to her and say that. She damn near gonna go. Let Future walk up to her and say it. She damn near gonna go.
You're not talking about whore. You're talking about selective preference. That's not the same as somebody is a whore. A whore is gonna be a whore for anybody, regardless of selective preference.
So Darwin,
come on, man.
So Darwin,
hold on, wait,
real quick, because I haven't said anything real quick.
Because we got to understand, a whore is there for the money, not the genetic, not whether a man.
No, that's a prostitute. That's a prostitute.
Okay,
whore is somebody that's a woman.
Okay, so we got some defining.
We talking about difference in prices at that point, but what we are collectively talking about is a normalization, and that is the big issue. And Jamal is helping to usher in a normalization by one, not checking that, by two, using the watch night service to go ahead and rile up all these other people that are just going to spread that same message. But going back to what Mont had brought up a long time ago, I just want to ask this quick question. Mont, you were talking about the gym. If there's a curvy woman in the gym that either has a man or is with her man, normally what will she do as far as her attire, even if she's wearing shorts?
Well, long t-shirt.
Correct. She's going to do something in order to cover up. Most times what I will see is they will take a sweatshirt and tie it around their waist because they already know that other men are going to be looking. They're doing their due diligence to protect their man and their relationship. When you wear something that is flesh colored, it gives the insinuation. That's an insinuation that both of them wanted. He wanted that because he wanted other people to look at his woman. She wanted that because she wanted to be looked at. That's called ego.
We agree with that. We're not hung up on that. We're hung up on the part of calling somebody a whore because
no. That's just one part of the conversation.
But that's the conversation we was having. We wasn't hung up on what you mentioned.
I'm saying that's we went left with that and kept talking about that. But as far as Jamal is concerned, he tried to do a whole sermon here. And that sermon was to rile up one part and to shame another part, further dividing everything. But the only thing that really comes out of that is he riles up everybody in his congregation and gets more bread out of that. So really it's a big sellout situation right? For his ego and for his pocketbook.
This is just another milestone of the church and religion as a whole standards being fragmented and dismantled. It started with LGBT. The same people who are throwing stones at this man for having a wife wearing this, it's the same people who are championing homosexual marriage. So the audacity to even, like, I'm not even surprised at it. I think it's going to get worse the more society, I don't even worse the term, evolves. It's just so much shit in the church and religion is accepted. How can you even be shocked?
That's the problem, though,
somebody in the pulpit has a wife with a dress like this when they're allowing same-sex marriage, and to M. White point, for hundreds of years they've been covering up child sex crimes. So, like, what this is doing is people look at Jamal Bryant as their hero. Oh, this is the next man. And when he exposes what people are truly doing in the church, being just like everybody else outside the church, they get mad because they want to protect the innocence, which is a facade. It's no innocence in there. All have sin and all do the same shit. Just because they rub some oil on your head, it does not make a difference. And that's what people are mad at.
Darwin, let me ask you a question.
Society hate the way God made them. Think they too dark, they bleach their skin. Get plastic bags all stuffed in your hips. Plastic bags, old inner tubes, empty recycled box cartons, saving cereal boxes to get them shoved in their hips.
That's right.
And then when you walk, your whole hips is creaking, making crunchy noises.
To say, I am divorced because I cheated. I divorced because of my infidelity, not because of irreconcilable differences, but because I broke that covenant. And so I had to go through a healing process for myself on what is it that was in me that would go outside of the bounds of my covenant, my agreement, and to risk my family for somebody I never wanted to be with. Yeah. So I say to men all the time, one of the mistakes I made is my first attempt at monogamy was married.
Notice the woman was paying attention to me. I was like, maybe she a fan. So I just walked past her. You know, they say something, I don't be like, hi, I'm Tasha K. And I walked past her and she was following me as I walked. And Jamal walked up, Jamal Bryant, this was Pastor Jamal Bryant. And he has since confirmed that he was in Fort Lauderdale because he unblocked me after he blocked me right after I posted on Twitter where I had seen him in the hole at the Dr. BBL hole. Okay? As we walked, they was holding hands. And so you don't hold hands with friends. This was late at night. This is your woman. And I have several sources that have confirmed with exclusive information that not only this is your woman, she has been your woman since 2017.
His girl is put before the congregation and she preaches with a BBL. We talking about the word. I'm not nobody who knows the Bible back and forth, but I know enough about the Bible to know that this is all foul behavior if you're preaching the Bible to people. You got a girl with a BBL speaking before the congregation. That's one thing. I've talked about this before. Then you have an interview with Cam Newton and you can't hold yourself. You say, you got some pretty legs. And next week, you speaking at a church where there are men, not one, not two, men walking around the church in high heels. Let me tell you something. If you at a church and there is a man in there with high heels, you might as well have gangbangers throwing up Crip signs, blood signs, and every other sign as the choir sing.
Real quick, Darwin, this is the second thing I said I wanted to challenge you on. What did you say about a man and his wife and how you stay out of that? You said something about that. What's your take on that?
So my take on that is, if, for example, if you decide that your wife can wear that, or you, but let's just say you bought a dress just like that pastor did, and that is what you want your wife to wear, that is what you approve of, that's what you're cool of, I don't get in the way of that. I got friends in my circle who do that. They they dress a certain way. They smoke. They drink. I don't approve of some of the things that I wouldn't do, but I can't speak on it because that's that man's that's his wife.
Yeah. So what would you say your overall statement is on that? I understand your example too, by the way. But what would you say your
overall opinion on this whole thing?
Your position on not doing too much with a man and his wife? Like, what is your position on that?
My position, hold on the man, on the pastor and his wife.
On any man and his wife.
I'm a hands off type of dude. I don't talk about a man and his wife.
Okay, because like when we Adam 22, right? Yeah. What is your position on Adam 22? And his wife?
What about him? Oh, so he
let his wife get her back beat in by Jason.
I don't have. It's not my fight. It don't make me sleep. It don't make me shit. That's
so
it.
Okay, so you don't have an opinion at all.
No, my opinion is that's a man that has an outcome, a desired outcome, and he went after it. Who am I to get in the way of that?
Not asking you to get in the way. We're just asking you. You can have an opinion.
I think it's foul, but that's how they move.
But that's your opinion. That's what he's asking you.
I wouldn't do it, but if they're okay with it, and it's totally fine with it. The only way it becomes a problem is if they don't want those videos or they don't want that footage to get out. And they don't want the scrutiny to come behind it.
Yeah, and the reason
you can't go and do that and behave like that if you don't want everybody's judgment. Like that's why when Jamal Bryant said I wore this because I wanted y'all to have this reaction or whatever, I think he had an agenda behind it. I think he planned it out, and I think I didn't state it. I think somebody on the panel stated that he knew what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, and I agree.
When you know what the hell you're doing, when you have that plan, I think you're using your discernment to be able to make a decision on it like that because you know what the ramifications that come behind it. I'm hands off when you do it like that, but when you if he would have got up there crying, I can't believe y'all did this to me, and bitching and complaining, I would have had a problem with it.
Yeah, and this is the reason that I'm asking you this question, because it seems like all of a sudden we throw out the social contract, we throw out man law, we throw out all of these things, then the way that us as men communicate, like what respect is to men, it's really universal. And it seems like you are like, yo, it's not a thing, it's not real. There's no such thing as like, oh, his woman don't respect him, or the way that your woman presents herself will actually aid in how I respect you or don't respect you. We all know this as men. And it seemed like you just kind of are ignoring that or acting like it's not a real thing.
No, I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe that's a general thing that if you want say, hey baby, I want you to wear this, I want you to wear this flesh color dress. I'm not gonna lower my respect for you. I'm not gonna look at you in a different way.
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember watching a video that you did on I don't even know her name. What's that lady? Miss Giving. It's Giving. That girl,
Sarah Fontaine.
Sarah Fontaine. I remember you doing that interview on her and her man in their first interview, and you went to town on that nigga.
Yeah, what did I say?
Pause.
Yeah, she just wore the same type of outfit to a party too.
What did I say? They're not married. This is a man that's about to get into a situation, and he was ignoring a bunch of red flags. That was an educational piece I did to let the audience see in real time how a man can be avoiding clear red flags before he's making a determination to marry a woman who's sending out signals that she's overly masculine. So if you watch the whole entire video, you can get to a whole bunch of those points.
Did you allude to her not respecting him?
Not have any respect for him?
Yeah, did you allude to that at all?
I may have. I can't recall. I have to go back. It's a while before I looked at that piece.
Okay. All right.
Even a sliver of doubt before you walked out to go to the event about the dress and that it might create a stir?
People have said, she knew it would get this reaction. My ego is not that big. Wow. I don't dress for people. I dress for myself and for my husband. I am a wife. Yeah. I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I have a doctorate, I'm a professor. There are plenty of things that I do. And the challenge is we often want to see a woman be one-dimensional. I am multi-dimensional. I carry multiple titles. Now, what you choose to call me on whatever day is fine for whatever that might be. But I think that there is this idea that a woman can only be one thing. And once I happen to marry a pastor, I happen to fall in love with a man who is a pastor, right? And so with that came the title of First Lady. But there is no book for that. There is no manual for what that looks like. And I have decided that the title does not define me. I define what the title is.
A bunch of emotional manipulation bullshit. They on a
Hey, Hank,
tour.
I think you're right now, Hank.
That's
I think
ego
you're right now,
right
Hank.
there.
I think
The
you're
very
right
thing
now.
that she just said
Jesus
is literally
what you call her, Hank?
textbook
What you
ego.
call her, Hank?
You wanna know what's funny? Hold on, guys. It's funny because she's
I
a
was gonna
pastor, right?
defend
But
that bullshit.
it
Dow was
literally
gonna
says
defend
some
that
shit right here.
bullshit, ain't you, Dow?
What is it, Timothy?
How you gonna
It says,
defend? Hold on, Cloud. Dow, how are you
no, I
gonna
was gonna
defend
say,
this bullshit?
I can. I don't got to
I ain't
defend it,
defending
but
you
I
will.
understand
I
what
know
you were
you
saying.
will.
She's saying there's no doctrine on how a first lady is supposed to
it
dress.
says
That's a
in Timothy,
goddamn
right?
lie.
Okay,
It
well
says
then,
in
if
Timothy,
you're gonna call
likewise.
it a lie, then you got to
Oh,
provide
y'all can hear me?
a source or
Yeah,
substantiate where she was
go ahead.
lying at. That's the conversation.
Well, that's
But if you ain't gonna
that's in church.
substantiate it, and it don't make no sense for JR to bring a clip and us have a disagreement if nobody gonna substantiate why she's lying.
Well, she
Well,
said
no,
that there is no doc.
that is a flat out lie, because if you are a first lady, if you're inside of a church, especially, I don't know what the denomination is, but especially if you're within a denomination, yes, absolutely, there is a standard that first ladies, that pastors,
Where
elders,
is it at?
deacons,
Yo,
that
yo,
they have to abide by.
Where is it at? What is it called?
check this out. Check this out,
It
though.
depends. It depends on what the denomination is. So I personally
Hey, let's
grew
just
up.
pick one.
I grew up Kojic. I grew up Church of God in Christ. Church of God in Christ has its own literature, and where this is everything that we do. This is how you do it. This is how you follow it, and that's what the law
Where's
is.
I can search it online, the literature.
Absolutely, I'm pretty sure you could.
Well, just send me the link so I can search it, because that would be informative, educational.
Yeah. So on top of the physical literature that they give you, you absolutely have to go through classes. You go through clergy school in order to become a minister. You have to go through the process.
They vote these standards in, right?
Say it again.
They vote these standards in, right?
Somewhat,
Right.
yeah.
So somebody
Yeah.
could say, you know what, I think we should change this. So you have to keep up with the standard because it can evolve based on whoever's in charge.
In most cases, those standards not going to change, though.
Viz, the Bible gives a standard for how a pastor's wife should dress. So what are we talking about right now?
That would have been better. Can somebody show me?
I was literally about to read. In Timothy,
Go ahead, Cloud.
In Timothy, right? It
Second
says
Timothy 9 and 10.
exactly. Women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair and gold or pearls or costly attire, but with what is proper for women who profess godliness with good works. As she's sitting there with these giant gold hoop earrings, and we all know the bigger the the bigger the what?
Hey, or
Okay.
1 Corinthians
Y'all know
8
the
and
rest.
9.
Y'all know the rest. Bigger the bigger the you know what, man.
1 Corinthians 8 and 9. Be careful that your exercise of freedom does not create a stumbling block to the weak. So how a pastor's wife should dress is in the Bible. A man who's supposed to be God's representative and teaching people about the Bible has his wife going directly against what's in the Bible that he's supposed to be teaching from. So
That's a good question.
there is no defense for this. Like the fact that we're trying to defend it based on how we feel personally, or well, you can't say she's a hoe because she dresses this way. Yes, we can. The same way that you don't see me wearing Dallas Cowboy jerseys all the time because I don't want y'all to think I'm delusional or fucking retarded, even though I'm a Cowboys fan. It's the same way that if I was a woman or a woman as a pastor's wife shouldn't dress like the hoe or the people that she's not because of who her husband is. Like it's the same fucking thing.
Well, the second part you said is still wrong. The first part about using scriptures to argue against how she's carrying herself as a first lady makes sense And the people in that congregation, if they were facing some type of stumbling block, they should bring that up to the staff to say that, hey, look, your woman shouldn't dress like that. But as far as we still hung up on your clothes determine whether you are promiscuous. I'm still hung up on that.
Your clothes don't determine what you are, but they do give a good inclination of who you are. For example, I give you a better example. You're in the office. You see a guy wearing a suit, right? You see other guys wearing slacks and polos. You see some guys downstairs wearing jeans and polos and tennis shoes. Which one of those men are you going to think is in a leadership position? The men in the suit, because of how he's dressed and how he presents himself. So if I walk into a room full of women and it's women dressed like her, and then there's women who are dressed modestly, and I'm looking for the hoes, I'm going to go talk to them women who are dressed like her. I'm not going to talk to women that are covered up and being quiet, because the odds are higher if I go talk to a woman with her titties and ass out with the BBL, with the saying cake face makeup, she's more likely to be inclined with what I'm looking for, which is being a hoe. Somebody can take
now whenever you phrase it like that, that makes sense. When you phrase it as because he's wearing his attire, he's more likely to be in a leadership, it's different than saying, oh, he has a suit on, he is a leader.
I never made that. I never said that.
Well, the argument was on the statement he made, saying that because she wears this dress, she's a hoe. Not that she might be a hoe. That's not what I. That's not
why you wear suits.
It is.
You wear suits.
That's not what I completely said. I think the way you articulated that, Willie, it's actually safer to go that way than just saying that definitively that this person is classified as a whore based off of her attire. We could say that the likelihood of her being a whore.
Now you're not being honest. Don, you're not being honest, man.
I am being honest.
Because I said more than just what she was wearing.
No, you
I said how she moves, how she operates, how she carries herself. No, I didn't back nothing up. Come on, man. Why you just gonna sit up and lie just to lie shit? Come on.
I don't know if
even in that situation though, Darwin, if that is the case, then why did you give pushback when I said that that's typically the uniform?
No, it's not typically the uniform.
Yes, that's what you just agreed to with Willie, though.
No, I didn't. He said the likelihood, or that I think he's a leader, or the likelihood of him being in leadership is high based off his attire, versus
his uniform.
Because she wore that, she's a hoe. Definitively,
I wouldn't agree with that.
Not what Viz just said.
That's not what I just said though.
You said typically the attire that's typically an attire to hoe. I said back when I was arguing with you, I said if you go back to the 1940s, we can make that determination and it is stick logically. But today, because they blurred how they dress, women have liberated themselves on how they dress and what they do with their body.
What they do with their vagina.
It's even more difficult to determine whether the woman is a hoe based off of her attire today.
It's not more difficult. It's not more difficult. It's the same thing. There are way more hoes.
Let me rephrase it for the people who are slow.
Wait, but I'm saying
if the attire for everybody who cut grass was fucking jeans, a collar shirt, and a fucking yellow Rogar vest, and everybody who fucking cut grass now today wears a fucking full tuxedo, I would argue that it's even more difficult to determine who cuts grass because everybody's wearing fucking tux.
Agreed. That's not
what ain't goddamn concept.
I think I know why you defend this shit hard like this, guys. You defended this shit hard for a reason because you don't want nobody to judge for what you got going on. I see what's happening.
Y'all niggas is slow.
This is that bullshit, dog.
Y'all niggas is slow.
You defending that bullshit because you know what you got going on, so you won't defend this shit. You don't want to be goddamn judged. That's that bullshit, dog.
You made a statement, and I made your ass run that shit back.
Yeah,
I don't think it's harder. I don't think it's harder to tell who's a hoe because there's more hoes. It's just you have a lot higher likelihood of being right when you think someone is a hoe. When you think someone that dresses like that is a hoe, you have a higher likelihood of being correct because there are more hoes. And good women don't dress like that. Wifely women don't dress like that. No woman who is not for sale advertises herself to be for sale. That's not normal. We're not seeing virgins out here dressing like hoes. We're not seeing girls who just I'm saving myself to a marriage dressing like that. We're not seeing women that we all typically would go look for as wives who present themselves to the world like that because of us being men of some status at least. We want women who are hard to access, not easily available to men, and have not been with a lot of men, and have characteristics that we want imparted to our children. Who in the fuck would want their daughter to dress like that? Or who in the fuck would want their daughter to present themselves to the world like that? Or who even then, who would like that? Who would want their daughter to marry a pastor and then embarrass his position like that? None of us would. Like, not one of us. If we all kicked it and we were all out with our women, we wouldn't want our women dressed like that if we were all pastors, but now we're all entrepreneurs. Somebody of us have a 9-to-5, whatever. We go to a banquet and our wife dressed like that.
Would be okay with that. Darwin would be okay with that.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Making statements that you
can't. No, you said it's okay.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but none of us want our women to dress like that.
You said you didn't have a problem with it,
bro. He said if I was a pastor,
you said you didn't have a problem with it.
Willie, did you?
No, you said you didn't have a problem with it.
We were all pastors. None of us.
You said if any of us all pastors, we wouldn't want our wives to dress like that. This man made another ignorant statement saying that I would be okay with it.
No, dog. I asked you, do you have a problem with it? You ain't no goddamn pastor. We all know you're not no goddamn pastor.
You can't substantiate.
I asked
you look stupid again.
You have an issue with? Would you be okay with that?
You just sound stupid. You can ask me about would I be okay with it. You can't sit here and say that I would be okay with it because you don't know. So again, you sitting up here as a grown ass man, probably the oldest man on the panel, talking stupid.
I'm gonna sit there and say, because I think you're a weak motherfucker.
It don't matter.
That's what
it doesn't matter.
And you sit there and
say you can say that, but you still can't substantiate what you're saying. You're crashing out and you're getting emotional.
Let me ask you again.
Because I'm calling your illogical statements out.
Let me ask you again.
You can't substantiate nothing you're saying. You're the oldest nigga on here and you sound foolish.
Would you be okay with your old lady,
if
your
I'm
wife,
a pastor? Per what Willie said.
No,
Willie, what did you say? You said if any of us was pastors, we had wives, we wouldn't want our wives to dress like that.
I know
you
said
that, Darwin.
I'm asking you a different question.
You can't fucking do it. So won't you turn your mic off because you can't substantiate nothing you're saying.
I'm about to ask you a question. Are you ready to answer?
Because you don't have anything to follow up.
Because your weak ass will allow that shit. That's why you defend.
You can ask me what I will allow, and I can tell you yes or no. You don't know shit. That's what makes you weak. Because you're making an assumption.
That shit.
You can't substantiate. You ain't got no fucking choice. All you're doing is making false statements. We can have a conversation as grown men.
Ain't no way I'll be okay.
But you can't do that because you got a bitch like mouth.
You act like a weak man. Keep talking.
That's what you acting like. You acting like
keep talking. That's talking. Keep talking. Are you ready to be quiet and listen to a man?
Like I said, substantiate what you say. Have a conversation with me as a man.
Are you ready to be quiet?
Take
and
your
listen
time.
To a man talk?
Hold your head up.
Are you
ready
to be quiet?
You a grown man talking to a pro. You talking to an expert. You talking to a grown ass man.
You're a clown. Go ahead, dog.
Talk to me like a man. Ask me what I do. Don't make a
statement.
Stop
talking like a bitch.
Don't make a statement.
Stop acting like a bitch.
How am I talking like a bitch?
Because you keep talking over everybody else. Let some other
you got the floor,
brother.
How am I talking?
Now let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this, Darwin. Are you okay with your wife wearing some shit like this? You ain't no goddamn pastor. Are you okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with it.
Okay, there you go.
Now,
there you go.
Per Willie's statement.
There you go. I got you, though. I got you.
Willie,
so now I know why you defending.
What statement did you make in your?
You ain't got a goddamn.
Hold on. Shut up and let me respond.
You ain't got no goddamn.
Have some damn decorum.
You
Willie,
have no goddamn choice.
You said if we were all
you have no goddamn choice.
If
your spineless ass gonna have to accept that because that's what happens at home. I got you.
If we were all pastors, if I was a pastor, I would not allow my wife to dress like that as a pastor.
You ain't got no choice.
You made a claim.
You spineless jellyfish.
When you could have
asked. You ain't got no goddamn choice.
I mean, you ain't man. You ain't a man. You ain't got no balls, no respect.
Grab
ankles. You just ask me a question. You got to go make a statement.
Grab ankles. You know what to do.
So consider yourself checked.
You ain't got no choice.
Every time you make a
you ain't no goddamn pastor. You ain't got no choice but to be okay with it.
It's just
you
niggas
ain't got
like
no
you
choice but
who
to
we
be okay
supposed
with
to rely
it.
on as OGs that failed a group of niggas like me. We got to come check y'all old niggas.
You have no choice.
Y'all niggas
you
get on the panel. You get on the panel and you talk shit. You make claims, and you thought a young nigga like me wasn't gonna run back and check your ass. Well, you got the wrong one, brother. Because I'm here.
You have to accept it. You have no choice.
Hey, y'all got to take this shit over to a DJ Hamp smoke show. Ali and Smoke show.
We gotta take it there.
He ain't got no goddamn choice.
That
He
nigga
gotta
always
grab
makes
ankles,
dumb ass
really.
statements. You've been making
He has
dumb
no
statements
choice.
on here for 2 hours and 14
Now he
minutes.
got to throw it in.
And I've
Well,
been
if
checking
I
your
was a
statements the
pastor.
whole time.
No, dog.
But
Even
then
if
whenever you
wasn't
get
a
checked and
pastor,
you can't
doesn't
substantiate
mean
it,
your
you
wife
want to
have
go
to
make a
dress
false
like
claim.
that.
Well,
Doesn't
you could
mean
have
it's
just asked me a
okay.
question.
Just because she's a pastor, that's irrelevant, dog. Pastor
Well,
not.
that's
My
the
wife is not
parameters
going to
Willie
dress
made
like
when he
that.
made the statement.
My wife
He
is
said if
not
all of
going
us
to
was
dress like that.
pastors,
But you had to
we
throw
would
it in
not
there.
let our
Oh, well,
wives dress
if
like
I
that.
was a
That is a
pastor,
true
she gonna
statement,
dress
and
like
I can
no.
corroborate that.
She gonna
But
dress
when you
like
sit
that.
here and
You a
say
pastor or
Darwin would,
not, dog?
now you're gonna
You
have to
have no
prove.
choice.
Okay, how can you confirm that Darwin
You
would?
have no
You
choice.
couldn't. You have to ask me.
You
So
have
all I'm
no
asking you
choice.
before you make a dumbass statement and put the cart
Come
before
on,
the
dog.
horse, ask me the
I see
question
why
before
you
you make a
doing what
dumb
you do.
statement.
You have no choice. I don't have to ask
Okay,
you.
you got the floor.
You ain't
Hank.
got
Let's
no
go.
goddamn spine.
Let's see if you can substantiate what you said. You
You
got the
already
floor.
showed
Go
that
ahead.
to me when you said you can't out get more women than Sam Cassell. This ain't nothing but a continuation of your weak ass.
You talking
I'm
about
gonna leave you alone because I don't want to front you no
Man, why
goddamn
you
more.
talk?
I done already
Hink,
snatched your soul.
Hink, why are you talking to Hink like he run with his hand? I mean, talking to Darwin like he run with his hands on his hips, big dog.
You ain't got no goddamn choice.
He said he answered the question. I mean, in all
I
fairness,
know he answered what, and you notice what he did? He said, well, if I was a pastor, you ain't no goddamn pastor. That's irrelevant. I'm asking you just on GP.
Yeah,
And he
but,
said yes.
but to be fair, Hank, you wasn't the one who set the parameters.
God damn.
Willie set the
God
parameters.
damn.
Everybody on the panel saying that if we were all
you told me
pastors,
enough,
we wouldn't
brother.
let our wife dress
You
like that.
told me enough.
Damn, brother.
Well,
I'm trying to have
let's just take a poll to keep it fair.
I'm trying to
With-
make sense of the conversation for you.
Hey,
brother.
yo, my man. Pause.
yeah, let's
Dude,
let's
please,
take a
brother.
vote.
God
Let's take
damn
a
it.
vote. G.
Yeah, vote.
Let's take a vote.
A vote, nigga. You know what the fuck I meant. God damn.
Yeah, we know what you meant, but we heard what you said.
You know what I'm saying?
Get the fuck out
We know
of
what
here.
you meant, but we heard what you said, brother.
I know why you did it. You say, DJ, you said it because you try to say my spineless buddy Darwin's face.
Come on, man. We all started laughing. You gonna take the shit all the way back there.
Y'all two got the women in the chat talking about and we supposed to be the emotional ones. Now we gotta cook one of them.
Gotta save his weak ass.
And then
That's a baby Jamal Bryant right there. I got
Listen,
you. You're baby Jamal Bryant. You got the
I think some
glasses
fair
on.
points were made on both sides. Darwin challenged whether or not it was substantial to be able to say how a first lady was supposed to behave. We established that there is indeed a doctrine to show that there's a way that she's supposed to behave. So when she went on national TV, she lied when she's supposed to be a first lady next to a pastor, which makes it even more egregious, which gets back to my main point, is that the problem is normalization. He normalizes talking like a woman in a salon in the church in front of a bunch of women that will love it. She normalizes going on national TV and doing an emotional manipulation by saying, I'm so many other things, blah, blah, blah. But your first thing is first lady. Trying to be so many other things aside from what it is that you have signed up to be sets a bad precedent for everybody else. It's like you can serve two masters and you cannot, especially if you are supposed to be efficient and also be in a leadership position. This is silliness. They literally spitting in the face of the church when they do this.
I wish my wife would go on TV and say, I'm a wife, I'm a doctor, I'm all this other shit, as if that comes before her being my wife. Because if I went out there and was
I'm
like,
a
well,
PhD.
shit, I'm a businessman, I got 3 masters, I make all this money, I'm more than a husband, sometimes I want to be a fuck nigga, she would have a problem with it. There's no way that woman, like, y'all slipped. I was hoping that somebody else other than me would address this piece, because I'm always the guy that points out the bullshit that women say on these videos. The fact that she has to, her number one charge, her most prideful thing isn't being that man's wife, tells you everything
I'm
you
a
need to know
PhD.
about how she views him. Her being a wife is something extra. It's like the fucking Infinity Gauntlet. She got the Soul Stone, the Vision Stone, or the PhD. They're saying the BBL. I got 3 degrees. I'm pretty, and I'm a pastor's wife. But then she don't know which one is her number one fucking function. It's to be that man's wife. And then to be an example, she needs to emulate what she wants those other dick-eating demons in her congregation to imitate. And she's not doing that.
We keep talking about what they need to do. None of that shit matter. All this standards and doctrine y'all saying are first lady supposed to go.
It's in the Bible.
It matter. The reason why it don't matter because ain't nobody pushing no consequences on these people. They gonna still bring them. They gonna still open the door and give them the keys to the church, and they gonna keep filling the pews and pour into the offering. So all this disdain for what they should do, the shit don't matter. You got leaders, you got popes, you got cardinals, and all that shit that can check that shit down. Ain't nobody saying shit about these pastors touching kids and still letting them get behind the microphone. For far as I'm concerned, none of that shit fucking matters. And that's what's being exposed. And we keep refusing to look at that angle, that none of that shit don't matter. All this anticipation and expectation for people, how they supposed to carry themselves in church, it don't fucking matter.
Actually, I would say that this is a part.
I can't say that, bro.
This is a part of the punishment. Actually, when we are literally calling to account what they are doing, so much so that he had to interrupt a watch night service. Now, I ain't been to church in a long time, but a watch night service is extremely important. That's how you setting off the new year. So if you had to interrupt that in order to talk about the way people were talking about your wife, which you intentionally put her out in the street like that, then you're taking away from everything you're supposed to be doing. Folks are calling you to account. That is a part of the punishment. Now, to your point, Darwin, you were saying that was probably on their agenda, and that's what they wanted to do, maybe for even more publicity. Fine, it's still going to come with a reaction, and we as a people have a certain standard that we're going to call to account when it comes to folks, especially in a particular position like they are, that then normalize. Wait, hold on. That then normalize a certain behavior that encroaches on the progress of the people.
You're just yelling at the wall. It doesn't matter.
No, we're not.
Hey, but
unless something drastic happened, like he loses his license or his authorization to be a pastor or something like that, then it matters. But if he can
what if he loses respect
for 2026, none of that fucking shit matters.
But y'all gotta remember that was Bishop Eddie Long's church before it was his.
Wait, hold on, Willie. But Darwin, but we have to acknowledge the fact that the only way that would happen in most cases is by the people causing a ruckus on it, by them saying like,
Precisely.
"Hey, this shit is not cool," right? So if none of this matters, then a lot of the things that we do as entrepreneurs on this panel, you, Trev, JR, I think Mont touches on it too. We might as well chuck it.
Whoa.
Man, come on, man.
No, we know what you meant, but we heard what you said.
Y'all ain't right.
But we might as well chuck it up and just say fuck it. We might as well stop doing what we're doing, because what we're doing in our own respective crafts is saying, hey, look, the shit that's happening is not cool, it's not the norm, and we're speaking against it. So if it doesn't matter, then what's the point of us doing what we're doing? What's the point of us even being on this panel right now?
And I would say, just real quick, a part of the punishment is we know that as far as the presence of black men in the church, that's been going down drastically for decades. That's a part of the punishment. You may not see it immediate when it comes to his particular church, because he knows how to pander to get certain people that pay to stay, but the church in general will have to pay, and that is by our absence.
You know how mad I'd be if I went to this nigga's church for my entire life and then did everything I was taught, because he's a terrible fucking leader, get to heaven and he sent me to hell, like, because of who I was following. Like, black people are running out of options to find like some type of religion or spiritual guidance. You can't be Baptist and all this shit because we got fuck niggas like this. You can't be a Catholic because the Catholic Church is the largest child pornography ring known to man. And then we can't go be Muslim because then they think you're a fucking terrorist. Like, it's so crazy how we're the only ones having these issues with our religions or our spiritual, what do you want to call them, journeys, because we keep getting people put in position to teach us, to mold us, and they've turned they've turned church into a business. Churches sell hope like drug dealers sell dope. And you talk about pray and fast, you can't pray for your fucking cable bill to get paid. I have not seen one prayer pay Verizon the $211 a month that it costs to have their internet. I've never seen someone be able to pray that, someone who just got their head blown off, he come back to life. Like, use hope, despair, and fear to get people to put money into their business. And like anytime that you guys are talking about these people as if they're a real church and not just, I'm saying, a nonprofit business for tax purposes, and they're using those congregations to actually fund their lifestyles, you kind of lose me.
Hey, I know we kind of winding down a little bit. Go ahead, man. I got this wild clip I just want to play right quick.
Real quick. This is why I feel like, to me, it feel like gaslighting with Darwin. I don't care about the church and all that type of stuff. But like as men, I don't know about everybody else, but as men, like I've been sniping for years. Like I've been like, if it's one thing I know, it's women, right? And you pretty much telling us that like there's no uniform, and it's like, yo, I know exactly when I'm 98% of the women that I've ever wanted to get physical with, I did. And I knew it and I knew all of the markers. I identify them as soon as I see them, and it's a wrap, and I know what's going on. But it's like you gaslighting us to be like, no, there's no uniform. There's no, like what you see is not what you're seeing. It's like, yo, I know exactly what I see. I know exactly how to read a woman. I know exactly how to identify a woman. From a mile away, I can smell it. And we right 90-something% of the time. So that's all I'm saying.
Let me just run this.
You ain't gonna let him white get in because I think he had something.
Yeah, go ahead. He did. You're right. You want to ask something, Mike? Go ahead.
Shit, y'all went everywhere with this. I think the point I was gonna make earlier was that to Fresh Point, when he was talking about the wife went on the stand and manipulated the people in what she was saying. He did the same thing. If you listen to how he was rallying up the crowd, he doubled down on what he said, and then he gave them an ultimatum pretty much: either you gonna co-sign this or I don't want you as part of this congregation. So yeah, I think that what both of them did was highly manipulative. And Darwin, was the point you were making is that there are women who will wear certain outfits with a man but don't wear them outside of that, so you don't judge the outfit because maybe if you with if you with your husband, do you think that it's different if she wear the outfit by herself?
Well, the whole thing I was saying, do I think it's different if she wore the outfit by herself?
Like if she with her man and he okay with it, and he's there to protect her, and then you wouldn't consider her a hoe because she's with the man. But if she wore it by herself, would you consider her a hoe?
I wouldn't consider her a hoe if she was by herself with it. And when I say whore, I use the term. Okay.
Yeah, I know you saying bust it open and
I'm talking about a woman who is clearly trying to get bust open for monetary gain or some type of exchange. I'm saying that today's society, because the way women dress, and I think we may be giving them too much credit that they're able to distinguish between each other. But that's not what I've been seeing, and that's not what I've been hearing. Also, I've been hearing that it's a mix-up of how they dress. They wear the same hair, the same baby hairs, the same makeup, the same lashes, all of that shit, from the good girls all the way to the bad girls. All I'm arguing is that it's even more harder to distinguish between them because they're more likely to wear the same uniform, so to speak, versus back in the days when there was a clear difference between a woman who was a harlot, a whore on the street, versus an innocent woman, a church girl, so to speak. Like, we got problems today with women dressing like that in the church now. I'm just saying, over time, as society evolves, it's just going to keep getting blurry and blurrier. I think Illa went viral for that when he was saying that you can't tell the difference between the women that's selling sex and good women because they're wearing the same thing. Exactly. I think that was his number one video that made him viral. In fact, I think he was on the street when he said that.
I remember that, but most of them are just, it's just more horror.
I think that was like 5 years ago.
Darwin, do you think a tattoo tells you anything about a woman? Do you think tattoos tell you anything about a woman?
Yeah, it tells me that she got a tattoo.
Hell yeah.
That's all it tells you. That's all it tells you, that she got tattoos.
Okay. Yeah. What does it tell you?
It tells me that.
Okay, hold on. Let me change that. If it's a zodiac sign, it tells me her zodiac.
Okay. A tattoo tells you, a tattoo at minimum, this is the least that you can extract from women with tattoos, is that
depends on the location. If it got her on the lower back, tramp stamp.
Okay, but even if it's not there, let's say it's on her chest, it's on her arm, she got tattoos, right? The least that it tells you is that She has some sort of rebellion in her. She has some sort of risk taker in her. She's looser than a woman who would never get a tattoo.
So what if she got a cross on her chest, on her of her breast?
It's exactly
Same
what
thing.
Same thing. She
So
got a little
saying
bit.
tattoo
She got
make a
more
woman
wiggle
looser?
room than that. You're not going to be wrong if she got more wiggle room. It tells you something. It tells you something about her.
Yeah, but we don't know what it tells us. That's my whole
At
point.
minimum, it tells you what I
tells us
just said.
something. But we can't definitively say it is. We're sure that she's a hoe because of the tattoo.
At
We can
minimum,
say
it
what it
tells you she's
alludes
not
to. We
rigid.
just can't say what it actually is. If
Okay,
you
so
see
what?
a woman and she's
Give
got
me an
face
example of a
tattoos-
tattoo that where we can confirm that it alludes to some
yeah,
specific.
yeah. If you have a
When you
woman that has
mentioned
a
the
face
tramp stamp,
tattoo,
You just,
Okay, I
you
can
just
agree-
gave
I
a
can agree
sample of
with
a
that.
tramp stamp.
I can agree with that.
a girl who has, you know what I'm saying, like a butterfly above her vagina.
So you know what? You know what the disconnect is. I don't think Darwin's even wrong with that because to the untrained eye, you can't tell, right? But that's as simple as it goes to the untrained eye. Mon, you know what you do. You know, self-proclaimed sniper. So you know how to analyze that. You already know what you're checking for. It just probably take you about 5 seconds before you realize what type
You
of
give
time
him
she
too
on the
much
knee
credit,
is.
man.
No,
Nah,
I'm only
that's
saying that
about the
because
right amount of
that's
time.
about right. It takes about
Yeah,
5
that's about-
seconds.
yeah.
Real talk. Like you already know what it is. They don't even have to say nothing yet. You already know what it is. There's so many things that you can just identify right away. Like the people who do that shit,
Posture.
they got
Look, you got posture,
everything.
you got
Posture.
hair, stance, outfit, tattoos, eye
The way they walk.
open or closed, slurring
Yeah.
their speech or
The way
not
they hold
slurring
their
their
mouth.
speech, whether they look like
All
they
that.
drink or not, smoke or not, blackness of the lips,
Everything.
shit, it's redness in the eyes, fingernails, done or not, holding it like the long crazy claws, or they trying to keep it discreet, outfit, the way they interact with you when you first interact with the girls they got around them, it's all type of shit you can pull out from within that first 5 seconds.
And it's
But that's why we
because
saying
the 304
untrained
standing
eye,
so
'cause I
close
don't
to the
think-
women, it's easier to do.
Well,
You know why a lot of these
again,
men
it's,
have
it's
like
a
such
separation.
an easy.
It's a separation. It's definitely a separation. The untrained eye, I get it. If we're talking about what Ilosophical said, he's right to the untrained eye. But the people who do it, they already know what it is. It don't take long. Once you had enough XP or you really do this shit, then you're not going to take long. You know what it is.
A lot of these young niggas are not having a hard time picking out hoes because they were raised by one. So it's not hard for them to have a heart to see the difference between. I remember my mom. I used to have 15 uncles when I was a kid, and then he's like, okay, well, he's older now, and when he sees women doing the same thing his mom was doing, either just by observation or being one of the niggas that comes over after the kids are asleep, it's not hard to identify hoes. We don't have to just worry about what they wear. We see what their behaviors are. Hoes act a certain way, generally speaking.
And I firmly agree with mine. I just want to go back to what he said. I think that's something that kind of went over my head, but I think you landed something that I missed. You said it's a form of rebellion. I fundamentally believe it is a form of rebellion in the sense that maybe tattoos has a connotation to it that is negative. And the rebellion is that the woman is looking at it like, you know what? I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe in that. I'm going to get a tattoo because this is what I love and this is what I like. And I'm going to assign my own meaning to it. That is the rebellion. You get what I'm saying? So the rebellion is.
I think
the rebellion is in.
Marcus
I don't
said it
agree
best.
with
Remember
the
Marcus,
attachment.
we talking about experience. This man has no experience with women, so he has very little to none. So this is really the problem. So remember, we talked about he questioned you guys, he challenged you guys about having experience. Said y'all should be doing this, y'all should be doing that. Well, this is why. That's why it went over your head. You didn't see it because you didn't know. You never dealt with it. So now you slow to it. Now somebody had to put you up on game. You need to thank these brothers for doing that.
Okay, thank you, Mark. That man was playing double dutch waiting on something.
I can't say nothing about tattoos. I may look like a gangbanger outside of my clothes. So I don't necessarily want to judge women for having them, but there are certain tattoos that you can see on a woman where, it does tell you something. If you even ask tattoo artists, they'll tell you the girls that they would think were hoes always come get some sort of butterfly because it symbolizes new life. So they'll get the butterfly tattoo and then they go to Jamal Bryant's church. And it's like it's a natural progression for them. So tattoos can tell you a lot. The when you're learning how to like, interact with people, read people, or, do any type of psyops as far as working with people, doing, asset investigation or whatever, you learn to read people and by their tattoos. So, you should know what some tattoos mean. You should understand, like, a guy who has tattoos on his neck is more likely to be dangerous than a guy who doesn't. Like, there are certain things. It doesn't say that all men with tattoos on their neck are going to be dangerous, but it is something that should pique your interest when you're trying to read that person. So if we're reading women and she got a tramp stamp, cool. We call it a tramp stamp for a reason. But then the girl who got tattoos on their asses of a nigga's name or some shit like "you'll love it here," it'd be fair to think that a lot of niggas have been back here because she's letting y'all know up front.
Yeah, I get it. It's a discrimination.
I did tattoos I tattooed for 17 years. It absolutely matters. It absolutely tells you something about that person that's getting the tattoo. 100%.
Hey, Liz, you ever did a "you'll love it here"?
Who? You'll love it here.
You'll love it.
I've done plenty of slippery when wets for sure.
Oh. So look,
how is that a pause?
You said it to Trev.
Darwin, I got a tattoo on my neck. Do you think that tells you anything about me?
Unless I can actually legibly read it, I can't really tell. It don't. It's not gonna. It's not like it was in the past when guys wore tattoos. Yeah. And it speaks to the rebellion again. When guys wore tattoos, is symbolism that they were gang affiliated. The rebellion today is that I could put a tattoo on my neck and not necessarily be in a gang.
Yeah, I would say that if you have a tattoo on your neck, you likely.
But even in that situation, though, if you get a tattoo on your neck, you're symbolizing that you are rebelling against the system or whatever, your parents, your job, whatever the case may be.
Right.
That was still the same notion as gangbangers getting tattoos on their neck.
It's not the same notion as gangbangers. It's just a rebellion. Just like in a workplace, black people couldn't, or it was frowned upon for black men to wear dreads in corporate America or as doctors or had a hair braided all the way back. The rebellion is that I like the design and it doesn't necessarily associate me with a negative connotation. And I'm going to push a movement of rebellion and say that I could wear my hair the way I am because I'm African American. My hair is knotted. I'm gonna dread it up, and I should still be able to pursue a PhD and practice as a MD in society.
The notion of locks is, especially if you're looking at it from Rastafarianism, it is based off of rebellion.
Well, if you're looking at it from Rastafarian, but that means that the person that's wearing dreads has to be Rastafarian for you to draw that intersection. But if that nigga is just a nigga that's from the streets of Chicago, that ain't really associated with Rastafarian, how can you know that it was gang affiliated? Unless you have a conversation.
Even if we're considering the streets of Chicago, locks got extremely popular once Chief Keef and that drill era came into play. That's when everybody really jumped on top of getting dreads or locks, in which again was another symbolization of them rebelling.
Okay, so does that mean they were in the gang?
Most of them were in gangs. Yeah, they were. The majority of them were gang affiliated.
So in that demographic, it increased the likelihood if you run up on a nigga with dreads and he might be gang affiliated. But again, it's almost like how it was in the 50s and the 40s when you ran across a man who was colored. The likelihood of him being a criminal or some shit was high based off of a discriminative narrative. But our rebellion was so strong that we can be comfortable in our own skin. Somewhat, it still happens today, but for most cases, we can be comfortable in our own skin and say that no, we're not criminals. We can put on a shirt and a tie. We can wear a hoodie and still not be considered a criminal. You would have to further observe our behavior to determine that.
Let me just run this wild clip for y'all right quick so we get up out of here.
Most lustful state, I ordered a trans Mex worker for me and my boyfriend at the time on Father's Day. lust is such a dangerous thing that it knows no gender. Once that spirit of lust gets you, it will start going after anything. It has no preference. It has no gender preference. It has no age preference. It just wants to be satisfied. And that spirit of lust is something that can consume you. That's why the devil uses it. He wants to consume us with the spirit of lust. Once that spirit of lust consumes you, it alters your mind. Literally, it alters your whole being. You become a whole different person. Okay, that's why the Bible says to flee from it, and that's why it's so big on not fornicating and adultery, and which are all kind of like gateways into that lust. That lustful spirit literally is never satisfied. That's why when people start watching pornography or certain things, they need more and they need more and they need more, and then one thing is not enough. So then you start doing the next thing, and then that's not enough. So then you start doing the next thing. That's why people be getting ickier and ickier. I'm trying to find the soft words for that. But they get ickier and ickier because that lust spirit is devouring, but it always wants more. It's such a nasty, disgusting spirit, and I am so like... Luckily, there's no condemnation, but some of the things I did in my most lust-filled moments, I literally shiver about, because when I think about them, they're disgusting.
That woman wants to eat pussy so bad and just is scared to do it. Like, what the fuck? All she did was describe addiction. And if you, as a man, if you beat your dick, you beat your dick today, you're gonna want to do it again later because your mind is gonna say, I want that dopamine release that you get from busting a nut. So of course you do it more. What that woman was talking about was fucking addiction. And she said that her shit got ickier and ickier and ickier. Like, listen, y'all, we gotta stop letting people get away with this Bible shit when they're just trying to match their own fucking weird shit they got going on. Like, what she's talking about is no different than what these other niggas are doing. It's just on the opposite end. Like, she wants to go out and get gang banged by saying 3 big studs with huge dicks so bad that she made that video trying to shame us for talking about, well, this spirit of lust is a demon. Girl, shut the fuck up.
You right.
Not real. That shit is it's a cop out. Really, to me, what it sounds like. You want to blame it. You want to blame it on a lustful spirit because you were kinky, and it is what it is. She said she had a
trans.
Yeah.
You bought a trans. Yo, I'm gonna tell you. You know what's messed up? You know what's messed up? That is not. It's more common than you think. I know more than one woman who said that they did that with their dude, and I'm like, yeah. So it's weird, but there's a lot of people into that nonsense, yo. So, and they just off what they off, right? They kinky, they like other shit, but they want to blame it on something else. You can't blame that on nothing else. That's what you wanted to do.
It ain't a lustful spirit on earth, in hell, or in heaven that can make me want to go suck a dick. It ain't a lustful spirit in the world that can make me want to go do some shit with kids, or it ain't no lustful spirit in the world that can make me want to go fuck a tranny. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, these people get on the internet and just be so sure because they get other weirdos to co-sign that bullshit.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, the day that I've probably done more lusting than the average nigga on. I'm probably lusting right now. But what I tell you this, that it ain't gonna never be behind no fucking man, or it's not gonna be behind no train. Like, God is capable of all things except that. There's no way.
All dudes on this motherfucker, man.
Like, that is crazy. Like,
this is a bunch of social media indoctrination. These motherfuckers get on TikTok and they make it okay for them to say the silliest shit, and then they think once they realize it's not okay, then they want to blame it on the spirit. But I'm gonna tell you something: the septum ring never fails. Ever. I mean, I would say 97% of the time they about to say some stupid shit.
Fresh, you people a whole uniform, right? The whole uniform.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Absolutely.
On, the uniform.
Let's keep it a buck. He gonna put it back up. Look.
I ordered a trans
Keep going.
Mex worker for me and my boyfriend.
What kind of silliness?
I was at my most lustful state. I ordered a
Yeah, look at her though. She
trans
got the spider tattoo.
Mex
the every
worker for
piercing
me
possible.
and my boyfriend at the time
She got gauges too.
on Father's Day.
Yeah,
I
she
know
got
she got
gauges
track
too.
marks on her arm.
So
Yo,
you
she got
think what
gauges
color
all
you
that
think
shit,
her
bro.
boyfriend was?
Whole attire say bisexual, whore, like experimental, trying to find
No,
myself. All
what
of
it
that.
really says, Mont, is I don't fit in. And so the way for me to fit in was basically to fit out and do a bunch of extra shit that all the other people that don't fit in would do because they can't find anything else to fit in with.
Hey,
I've
fellas,
noticed this. I've noticed this a lot. Like when we was like basically going through the whole when we was on the lockdown and the BLM thing was going on. When I was out there in them streets walking around with everybody else, what I would notice is that there's a certain sect of people that don't fit in with everybody else that would probably practice some sort of discipline. And in order for them to feel like they belong to something, they would get into weird shit.
This
And that's
is why
what that is.
This is why men
That's a shame,
won't
yeah.
feel safe with women. You can't go do nothing freaky with a woman because when soon as y'all break up, she gonna put your business out there. That nigga didn't want nobody to know he was out here fucking trainings with his girl. Imagine what else she was doing to him. Like I'm like
I don't want
again,
to.
bro. Like y'all make this shit is so weird. Like Fresh, everything he said is spot on. But what we did miss is if you look at her outfit, she got 5 different things going on. She's a black girl with twist. She got the schoolgirl shit going on with her fucking glasses. She got the all black on like she a goth girl. Like this girl can switch between fucking sexual genres like she a goddamn chameleon. And then she even admitted to the fact that she is going out here and ordering. Y'all let that part slide. She's ordering transsexual sex workers. How the fuck do you even find out where to get these people from?
I think she dating a very liberal white guy. I honestly think she dating a very liberal white guy. And
Come on, nah,
it's likely. It's very likely.
We just saw a nigga on Skin Bone.
That's crazy.
We just seen a dude on Skin Bones admitting to being attracted to trans women. So
okay, I don't want to know what Skin Bones is now. Never mind.
It's a
comedian
from,
in Chicago.
It's a comedian from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Sadly enough, I know we want to ignore and say that it's not happening in our community, but these niggas definitely own that shit out here.
Oh well, hey,
Yo,
I'm on record saying.
You ever heard of Atlanta?
Yeah, I think
exactly.
Yo, what do it mean when you see a man with a septum piercing?
That he sucks is more dick than she does. I don't know.
He a Diddy party. He a freak.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think what we missed was what is the
Every
actual.
time.
I think what we missed was what's the actual problem, like what causes this. And what I found out is not, and I agree with who was that? Fresh and Willie said it's not a lustful spirit or nothing. It's just that's a cover up. Yeah. It's actually overindulgence, and then once you get overstimulated. What you try to do is escalate it to try to get that stimulation again. It's like a high you chase. You get addicted to something, or what is it called? Desensitized from something. You try extreme measures. That's what
chasing that dragon.
Exactly. So they probably went from exploring options in the bedroom, and they ran out of ways to please each other. Then they started ordering 304s, and then they got tired of that, and then they went to extreme. Said that is a matter of
bro. I don't believe that part. I don't care how bored you get. You don't just change your sexual orientation. Bro was off it.
They still gonna probably be with each other. I'm just saying they're going. It's gluttony. Gluttony. This is what happened with gluttony. This is happened with drugs too. People get on marijuana and they overstimulate themselves on marijuana. They try cocaine and they try.
Wait.
It's
a gateway drug.
Wait.
That's not a gateway drug.
That's
not a gateway drug.
Well, listen, I'll let y'all finish. Just let me land, bro. Y'all can settle y'all different. I firmly believe that you can overindulge on specific whatever the hell it is. And sex is that doesn't get in the past. You can overindulge and it'll make you want to try extreme things. I'm not saying it happened to everybody, but it's a such thing as it happened. I watched a documentary with Charlie Sheen. I don't know if anybody saw it on Netflix. man just went out of control, and he started trying new drugs. A lot of Hollywood actors start doing that shit. They start having sex. They start doing things that just unimaginable. It's a such thing as and I think the term is gluttony. It's not necessarily a sexual
it's gluttony.
demonic spirit. It's just gluttony. You overindulge in it.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's gay to be. I think it's gay to be experimental, and I think it's gay to like pleasure too much when it comes to sex. I think
that's what people like. Coke is an expensive drug, and the reason why people end up having to chase that high once they start with something expensive is because they can't afford it. Something happens when you got a Coke habit. That's when shit start coming up missing, and now you smoking heroin. You can't get the heroin. Now you smoking crack because you always chasing that dragon. So it's no different than this chick here. You know how crazy it is for a woman to have to pay for a sex worker? Like a woman to pay for anything sexual. It's crazy. Like that's the wildest shit. Like that's like when we find out a woman is paying for dick. Like that is wild. But in her mind, she was like, you know what? I'm gonna swipe my card for the sex worker with titties and a dick. Like that shit. How do we try to cop that and make it like it's a demonic spirit? No, bitch, you're just weird. And it's cool. If that's what you like, hey, like what you like. No one's gonna judge you for that. What I'm judging you for is trying to use that shit as a Bible. Like use the Bible and demonic spirits and scripture to cover your naked weird ass up from liking to get bent over while you bend your boyfriend over. Like that shit is wild to me.
It's a cop out. That's all it is. And I mean, we've seen it countless times where somebody will get online, talk freely about what it is they can do whatever they want to do as a woman, and they're independent and blah 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 blah, and they can get with a bunch of dudes. And once they get embarrassed by the things that they've done, either privately or publicly, the next thing that they do is turn to religion. They always say the final form of a hoe is what?
A religious woman. Well, I said a religious woman or a realtor, bro. You got to give them a chance too.
Oh yeah,
it's
crazy because she got a cross hanging from her rearview mirror. I just peeped that too.
Yeah, the rearview mirror of her 3 Series BMW.
So another thing too that I think that we would not necessarily but church people overlook or they blow out of proportion is that a lot of the things that's in scripture that people would blame the devil or Satan on is he had nothing to do with it. That was a personal choice of a lot of the decisions that motherfuckers make throughout their life that just so happened to send them on the opposite side of where they wanted to be or what was looked at as being righteous. You can't blame you wanting to hire a tranny. I don't know if that's the proper term to use, but you can't blame hiring a transmission on the devil. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with him. That was something that you wanted to do on your own. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely something else that we do got to point out because that is another form of a motherfucker not taking accountability for what it is that they're deciding to do.
What she said makes as much sense as your girl talking about I sucked this dick on accident. Like that's about how much sense that makes. So I didn't mean to cheat, baby. I just sucked his dick a little bit. Like that makes sense. And the thing is, like, you go look at the comments on that video, it's people like supporting it, like an agreement. Like, no, like listen, you cannot give unrighteousness any type of covering, any type of defense, because goddamn. Like, it's so disrespectful for weirdos to hide themselves in the Bible or wrap themselves in it once they got something going on that's weird. Like, imagine you getting so bored with saying hitting women, like having sex with women, that you're like, you know what? I'm tired of getting my dick sucked. I want to go suck one. That is the wildest conclusion to do. Like, who the fuck is gonna do that?
Well, I mean, there's actually there's a pastor that recently got
Bishop Long.
No, it's a white dude. He was basically in charge of the Pray the Gay Away at his particular church, and it got real popular. Come to find out, he was ordering. No, not him. It's a white dude. Come to find out, he was ordering a dude, and they was kicking it consistently. The dude didn't know he was a pastor, and after a while, he just outed him, and he had to come before the church and basically, re-establish himself under Christ, and his church forgave him. He went back to the dude, and then his church, he lost all his parishioners, moved, and then started all over again.
Damn, he
That
got
was
with
that
he
was
got
my
a gay
point
nigga
earlier.
with some demon dick. That's crazy.
That was my point earlier.
Demon is crazy.
Those same men will be online or on the pulpit talking about how men who are attracted to women are weak and how we need to have better discipline, and that if we accidentally, have a one night stand, it's because we weak and we need to pray and get right with God. And the whole time they doing this perverse shit and paying for it and doing all of this weirdo shit. It happened way too much for me to just be like, all right, well, that's just a one-off.
Bro
No, bro, that's a common
went from
thing.
pray the gay away to pray the gay my way. Like these pastors is crazy.
You seen that
you know what though?
the two boys he was taking care of, and he had a sex dungeon.
Yep,
a sex dungeon for men that he like. Come on, bro. They
For
be
men.
having weirdo
Yeah, buddy.
shit going on, bro.
So you know what it is. To your point, Willie. The reason why people would support that nonsense in the comments is because they got shit with them. The same reason why we said it's demons in the church, because when your leader doesn't have structure, it makes you feel a lot better about yourself. That's why women don't necessarily want that man sometimes that they know they probably need to have in their life, but when it has that discipline, that structure, they need to feel good about themselves, and they can't feel good about themselves when this guy is always on his shit and you ain't shit. So that's
Normalizes chaos.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a revolving circle and shit forever because they all support each other. They all could work with that negative energy together, and you never really have to worry about standards because the person who I'm following, the person who I'm around, they ain't shit neither. Perfect.
That's why I said, man, this shit is wild. And I mean, I've grown numb to it. I'm not surprised what people do when they proclaim themselves as Christians or religions in the church. And I hear all this shit. I don't even get surprised anymore. It baffles me that people are still surprised. I'm like, bro, as far as we come in 2026, what these motherfuckers is doing in the pulpit, y'all are still wondering. I'm telling you, bro, there ain't no standard. And this expectation for a standard is fucking just as naive.
I would have never in my life thought that we was gonna hear a girl say that she ordered a transsexual sex worker for her boyfriend. That's not on my. That was not on my 2026 bingo card. But right now,
Damn, we ain't even a weekend. Shit,
right?
Like JR,
You know what,
listen, I'm hoping that I pray for your algorithm, G, because you need to do whatever it takes to get that weird ass lady out of it.
Bro, who algorithm was this?
I mean,
no, this should be popular on TikTok.
Who algorithm was this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to stay far the fuck away from that.
Nobody want to admit to that shit.
I know I got a whole lot of trends.
No. Wait. So somebody did a reaction video on it, and I just looked it up.
Cool. Yeah. How many of these dudes do y'all feel are grifters? Like a lot of these new age pastors and everything. Just
All
like
of
how we
them.
got bad influencers. You know what I'm saying? People who shouldn't actually be doing this, who don't have I guess the wherewithal to really handle these type of situations and to be leading people. But
All of them.
there's a lot of monetary gain, their status, all of the shit that people are addicted to. And you can, if you know how to run your mouth, it's almost no field you can't get into. Real talk. Like if you know, like you good with words, you could grift and you get enough people damn, what I say?
If you gotta run your mouth.
Look at that short nigga Yada. He good with words.
I thought I could have been a great pastor, but I felt like I didn't want to lie to people. I thought
you talking about Yada.
I didn't want to lie to people.
Yeah, in white. If you was a pastor, your whole congregation gonna be like, in white get bitches, like biblically. Like they nobody finna listen to you, bro. Like, they gonna ask you where the hose is at. You gotta be fair for that one, bro.
Yeah. Mace did it.
Mace was a
Yeah,
no,
that was crazy.
Didn't nobody take Mace serious? Mace was just hitting church women.
Some people.
Mace was on TVN though.
Yeah, hitting church women.
Yeah.
And look where Mace at now. He back home.
Y'all think Tommy Sotomayor could have been a pastor?
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Tom, wait.
Yeah, he got
a
pastor of what religion?
Yeah, what type of religion?
Or what
No,
religion?
he could.
You just said, we just talking about the gift of gab, right?
Exactly. Because it kind of, again, you could be damn near anything that handles influence, deals with influence. You could be if you
I
parse
give
your
him
words
that.
correctly. He got the cadence for it, all that shit. I think he could do it.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, for sure. Good.
I think most of these red pill
Why do a
niggas
lot
could
of
be
pastors
pastors.
have that gay twang on their voice? Maybe it's just me, but they be having I only hear gay men drag their words away. Most of these pastors preach. You know what I'm talking about? Or I'm just hearing.
I don't know that
No,
it's most of them.
these
I think
pastors are gay. Most of them are gay.
I personally don't think it's most of them. I think the ones that get sensationalized
The hip
and put in front of a lot of people.
The hip hoppy influences ones, they gay. I can tell. I can see that shit instantly. I'm like, oh,
Let me go ahead and get to these super chats, man. We can continue this conversation. You can, amen, always defend HOES. They want to sleep with. Summershine.
He can name crazy.
Dress is submitted to his request. It's on him. He can Viz, you calling clout a drug now, Darwin. Darwin, woman dresses like a HOE. She's healthy green style. What do you think of, what does that word say?
Ibrahim
Burkina Faso. Oh, Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. Shout out to him and what they got.
There you go. We got Gina with a $5 super chat and Gina with another $5 super chat. Want to thank everybody who has contributed to the platform. Make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. See y'all later.